What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people when I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. As usual, as scheduled, listen, I am your host, Anton Daniels, but you can count on me more than you can count on your baby mama. That's for sure. You can count on me more than you can count on your boyfriend. That's for sure. You can count on me more than you can count on the people that you trust and believe is going to have your back. You're more likely to make sure that Anton is tuning in. I might be a little late here and there, but I'm definitely always going to be on time. You can count on me to stream for the Millionaire Morning Show more than you can count on your kids to get good grades in school. That is a fact. What's going on, friends? How are y'all feeling? What's up, Messi? Your car, Bitcoin Brown, Jerry, Alon, Robert, Dalton, Jennifer, distinguished gentlemen. I see Sabrina in here, Trini Life, Treese, K. Cooper, Dan, Brandy Williams, Mr. Lot, T. Mac, TC. What up, friends? I see Vanessa, Lance, Lewis, Marquita in the building. Yeah. What's up, DJ Ace? What's up to all of my friends and family? We are live here from Studio A in Detroit, Michigan. It is a beautiful, beautiful morning. You know, we had this plane crash today. And I will tell you that it helps for you to be able to appreciate things more. And it's one of the reasons why I leave it on the floor. I let it all go. Every day I give my all, I give my last, I let it go. For those of you that were in the Patreon live stream last night for Stock Club, was it not an awesome live stream? Don't worry. I know some of y'all was working, some of y'all was a little busy. Maybe you got caught up doing something you wasn't supposed to do. I got you. I re-uploaded the live stream for the people to be able to see it. So if you're not a part of the Bag Chasers, if you're not a part of the Patreon, the link is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Please don't miss out on this money. It is too much money, too much opportunity, and too much game for you guys to let that go. I mean, I know we get busy on here on the Millionaire Morning Show on the Anton Daniels channel and we got after hours tonight, but I'm trying to tell you we get busy on the Patreon. Too much game. And the beautiful part about it is that not only do we break it down from a C student's perspective, but we don't leave no man behind. I chat. I make sure I look in the chat. I answer questions. I'm transparent. The people on the Patreon yesterday found out exactly what my position was and what company I worked for. That was a good reveal. We got a new transparency video coming out this weekend. So I'm going to show you exactly how I monetize and why I generate so much revenue in my media companies. And so it's a lot to learn. It's a lot of game. It's a lot of insight. And I would also implore you guys to make sure you tap into the Discord. The link to the Discord is in the description of any of the most recent videos inside of the Patreon. Go and watch that video. Even if you was there and you live streamed it, you need to rewatch it because it's too much sauce. It's too much game. And I don't even like to big myself up. Yeah, I do. Let me give myself a round of applause. We big ourselves up, but I'm telling you it is. Honestly, all jokes aside, it's so much game. So if you're not a part of the back, actually, you know what? We got 31 days in January. So tomorrow's the 31st. Sign up on Saturday. I don't want y'all to get hit, double charged or anything like that. Sign up on Saturday, first of the month. No sign up on Patreons today unless you're doing the full year. Sign up on Saturday if you want to test it, you want to test drive it, see what's going on, see if it's for you. You're not going nowhere. We got a community that continues to grow. Sign up on Saturday. That way we can save you $15 unless you're going to do the yearly subscription and you really going to get your bag right. And you get like 15, 20% off the yearly or whatever, or something like that. But sign up on Saturday, tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. All right. Keisha, are you with me? Says you wonder when Anton gonna bring back coaching calls. I don't know. I'm having some fun right now. Right? I'm in my no coaching call hoe phase. Because initially I stopped doing coaching calls so I can gather things. We had to redo the studio. We had a lot of business to take care of and all of that stuff. But now I'm kind of like in a no coaching call whole phase. Is that a thing? Is this not the greatest show on earth? Are y'all not sending this to your family and friends? Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel if you've been here more than once. Subscribe to the channel if you've been here more than once. You need to send this out to at least 2 friends because we don't want to be rich by ourselves. And I promise I'm gonna bring back coaching calls. I'm in the whole phase. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sleeping a little bit more, taking care of a little bit more business, traveling a little bit more. All right. We're gonna get back to it, I promise you. But let me acknowledge the Cash App. Shout out to Marquita Robinson. I love you, Marquita. Thank you for hooking me up with the coffee. I appreciate y'all. And I also want to let y'all know, for those of you that may be new here and may not understand what we got going on, we have fun. We put the medicine in the candy. This is the greatest morning show on earth. Sometimes people hit me off with Cash Apps and Super Chats. We don't ask for it, though, because I think that you being here is enough. It's appreciation enough. But anybody that does send anything, I always like to acknowledge them. I don't care what it is, $1 or what. So shout out to Faith M. I also want to say I appreciate you. Mike, that dude, is in the building as usual. ESDC, what up, though? And Aslam Haroon. Shout out to Aslam Haroon. You hit me off with that. Oh, so you said you buying me lunch. You said I can go to Prime and Proper for lunch today? I ain't even got to change my clothes. Just walk straight in. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. I also want to make sure that I acknowledge the Super Chats. The early Super Chats of the show. Wealth Building Journey says, about to hop into a 2-hour budget meeting. National Airport was crazy last night. I uploaded a few videos to the Discord. Please pray for the families. We going to send that prayer up in 1 second. I got you, big dog. Whiskey Pierre Luis says, Anton, shalom, blessings, and God bless America. God bless the United States of the Americas. Latrell says, and the Gulf of America. Latrell says, what up, though? Send me that 2-ball. I appreciate you. Profess a la mode says, thank God there are intellectuals who are spreading the word that I've been screaming in the streets. Do you have an internship? I'll send my resume. Anybody that wants to send me anything, you can email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com. I only do business through email. Hey, YouTube. YouTube gotta get control of these spam people, these whatever they are, whatever country they in, when they make up these accounts And then they go into the comments and they say, please hit me up. And they put a bunch of hearts next to it. And y'all can't keep falling for that foolishness, all right? I got my team on it. They erase them and they completely remove them from being able to put comments on the chat and stuff like that. But YouTube got to do something about that. Because I will never reach out to you via IG or anything like that. And I only got one account. I don't have no backup accounts. I don't have anything like that. So unless you a baddie and I'm trying to get you in here so that you can do a show with me in the studio on the couch, you ain't got to worry about me hitting you up in IG. I promise you, I'm never going to hit you up in IG. I always do business via email, okay? AntonDaniels413@gmail.com. Also, if you want to send me anything, my mailing address is in the description of the video. So shout out to you. Leisha, what up? Leisha says, woke up motivated this AM. Great info last night. It was a lot of info, a lot to take in. Might need to rewatch that. Bag Chasers here took Stock Club was amazing. Shout out to Lance Lewis. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad that the people enjoying the products that we putting out there because we don't put no fluff in it. We just give people what they need in order to be successful. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to y'all. How about we go ahead and get started with prayer? Again, Tiege Hanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Anybody that wants to get that product, that good, and they want to take care of themselves, ladies, get it for the fellas. And fellas, don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. Tiege Hanley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. That link is in the description, all right? And again, tap into the Patreon this weekend on Saturday. I think that's the first. And then we going to run it up. All right, y'all. Y'all ready to get started with the show? Y'all not gonna get me upset today. We got a great show for y'all today. We're gonna go over the plane crash. First, we're gonna revisit Trump. He signed the Laken Riley Act. Y'all need to know about that and what that is. So y'all not looking dusty when y'all get approached by somebody on the liberal side and they trying to tell you what's going on. And you can say, no, that's not what happened. Anton from AntonDaniels.com on the Millionaire Morning Show broke it down. JD Vance, he talks about how Trump is a genius. I would like to see that because I haven't looked at that yet. Also, we got to keep y'all up to date on these illegal migrants that's getting rounded up. They decided to go over to LA, and Chinese migrants was getting caught up in a bunch of busloads and vans trying to get away. We got them. And last but not least, one thing I wanted to bring to the front of the congregation is food stamps. Medicaid, Medicare, food stamps, Section 8, EBT, all of that stuff. I didn't realize there was this many people on food stamps. I might hurt some feelings today, but I promise you it's going to be a good show. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, for subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Lord, be with us today and bless us not to be interdependent on food stamps. Bless us not to be interdependent on Section 8. Now, God, I'm not telling the people that they can't utilize resources from the federal government if they need it because they pay into the system. That's not what we're saying, God. We're not saying that. But what we are saying is that they should not be taking advantage of taxpayers and being forever food stamp babies. We're not going for that. We want them to get out of it. This is called the Millionaire Morning Show, not the Millionaire Dust Show. Bless us to take the message. Bless us to sign up for the Bag Chasers. Bless us to be edified with the word, not to be easily offended. No sensitivity. A man like me. Bless us not to be sensitive. Bless us not to be in our feelings. Bless us not to be feeling some type of way only because we laid off. But bless us to make smart decisions. Take the medicine inside of the candy. Be the father that you never had. And give you the information to be successful. We ask everything in Jesus' name. Amen. And I'm a prayer warrior and I'm a best prayer that you know. If we pray like this, we'll have more minutes out of the church. That's what I said. That's what I told my grandmother. She said, Anton, you're right. Anyways, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Let's rock. And again, the like is required. I know y'all be acting a little dusty with the likes. The subscription to the channel and the notifications, that's only if you've been here more than once because I want you to see what we got going on over here on the Millionaire Morning Show. All right, first things first, we want to address this plane crash from American Airlines with a military helicopter all the way over in D.C. I got to bring y'all up to date on the most recent information that's happened overnight last night. Let's find out what's going on. Prayers and condolences to the people that was involved in this.
We do have this developing story that we do have to bring you this morning, and We say it with great sympathy because there is a great tragedy that took place in the skies just outside of Washington, D.C. last night. A military helicopter colliding with an American Airlines jet near Reagan National Airport this morning. The search and rescue operations continue in the icy Potomac River, where both aircrafts plunged after that crash. So far, no survivors have been located. At least 67 people on boards of both those aircrafts collectively. Some members of the U.S. figure skating team believed to be among the victims, and we are all praying for a miracle at this point. Eamon is at the scene on the Potomac River. Eamon, walk us through what happened and where things stand right now.
Andrew, the first emergency call was 8:48 p.m. last night. Investigators were on the scene, search and rescue on the scene 10 minutes after that. We're now getting daylight here just on the scene, getting our first live look in the daylight of the crash scene. And I can tell you that Park Police helicopters are now circling overhead. They seem to be orbiting that site on the far side of the Potomac River across from where we are standing in Alexandria, Virginia. That'll be the D.C. side of the river where search and rescue efforts are focused right now.
Thank you,
Tragedy deepening this morning as our NBC affiliate here in Washington, D.C. is reporting multiple sources to them saying that officials have recovered more than 30 bodies from the site of the wreckage here. So the death toll here is tragic and expected to get worse as the hours continue, because we are now more than 9 hours after this incident and no reports of any survivors have come in so far. Andrew, I can tell you also that the conditions on this river, the river is deep today, it is flowing quickly today, and it is very cold. We know that this is the highest level the water has been at for days. The water is moving at its fastest rate since Tuesday last week. The water temperature just at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Very, very cold. This river was iced over entirely last week, to the point where you could almost walk across the Potomac River, something we rarely see here in Washington, D.C. So that gives you a sense of the conditions that crews have been working in throughout the night as they try to hope against hope in terms of finding somebody alive in that wreckage. I can also tell you, Andrew, there is sort of an eerie silence here in this area. We are just to the south of Ronald Reagan National Airport, which is just to my right, your left here. And typically this area, every couple of minutes, is awash in sound from aircraft landing, taking off at National Airport. It is very loud here normally. Today, all we hear are those helicopters circling the area looking for any survivors, any bodies. So this is a very difficult scene. They say they expect ultimately Reagan National Airport will be closed until 11 a.m. this morning. No flights in or out until that hour. And we are expecting at the bottom of this hour, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, we are expecting an additional briefing from officials on.
So I'm going to break all of that down for y'all. I see y'all got a lot of questions. I've been on top of it all morning. Let me give you the latest updates that I'm getting. Specifically that no survivors, zero survivors are expected to be found after the midair collision involving an American Airlines regional jet from Wichita, Kansas. So it was flying in from Wichita, Kansas, collided with a military helicopter near Ronald Reagan, Washington National Airport. Rescue crews have discovered over 30 bodies. That's not all that was obviously on that plane. And they've discovered one from the helicopter. So far they've discovered over 30 bodies from the plane wreckage, and then at least one from the military helicopter, okay? Confirmation of all of the deaths on board would make Wednesday's crash the most fatal aviation disaster on U.S. soil in 23 years. The collision occurred moments before the jet was set to land, sending both the aircraft into the Potomac River. Here are some details, and then we're going to listen to the recordings. We're going to get some insight from the mayor. We're going to get some insight from all of the experts. So I'm going to give you all of the information, so y'all not out here saying, oh, I thought it was some survivors. I thought it was this. I thought it was that. You've heard it here first. I can confirm exactly what I'm telling you, okay? Here's some information. Flight 5342 from a Bombardier CRJ 700 had 60 passengers plus 4 crew members. It was 64 members on board of this plane. Okay, 4 crew members. I'm assuming maybe it was 2 flight attendants, 2 pilots, and then 60 passengers. All right. The 3 troops on board of the helicopter, the Sikorsky H-60, were conducting a training flight. All right. So the jet was flying in from Wichita, Kansas into DC. The 3 troops were conducting on a military aircraft that were conducting a training flight. The fuselage jet was found near in 3 sections in waist deep water. Okay, so they already found the fuselage. Among the jet passengers were U.S. figure skaters, coaches, and relatives returning from a training camp. Russian media said 2 former world champions, a married couple, were also on board. So as we get those names, I will release that to you guys, and I will keep you up to date on what's going on. Crews have been working in extremely frigid conditions. Recovering operations are still continuing, and President Trump is set to address the crash from the White House at some point today. All right. I was frozen a little bit. We back? All right, cool. Sorry about that. Sorry about the buffering, but we back. So, yeah, that's pretty much the majority of it. They were on the flight on the way from Wichita, Kansas, over here to the United States of America's Reagan Airport over in D.C. Military exercises and training was being conducted. There was some miscommunication at first. When I first started researching this and finding out what was going on, I assumed that it was a miscommunication from the air traffic control, because as you will find out, and they're going to drop the calls and so on and so forth, that it had to be some ego or somebody deciding that they didn't want to go the certain way that they were supposed to go. They said that the flight paths were what they were supposed to be. But let me play for you guys an aviation analyst call from what was going on, because somebody failed to do their job, whether it was the pilots on the airplane for American Airlines or the pilot for the military vehicle or the military helicopter. Let's find out what was going on, y'all.
Welcome back. Good Thursday morning. Thank you for being here. I'm Maria Bartiromo, and it is Thursday, January 30th. It is 8:02 on the East Coast. We've got breaking news this morning on the mid-air collision of an American Airlines commercial jet and an Army Black Hawk helicopter over D.C. last night. Officials are saying 27 bodies from the jet and 1 body from the chopper have been recovered. 28 bodies recovered as the investigation transitions to a recovery mission rather than a search and rescue mission. D.C. Fire and EMS Chief John Donnelly said he expects no survivors. 60 passengers and 4 crew members were on that passenger jet, including several members and coaches from the U.S. figure skating team. They were returning from a camp in Wichita, Kansas. 3 soldiers were said to be on board the military chopper. Terrifying audio captured the moment the crash happened last night.
Did you see that? Go around, climb, maintain 3,000. Blackjack 3, can you return to base? Blackjack 3, proceed directly to Glebe. I need you to land. I need you to land immediately. Can you go to Dulles for a few minutes? Can you go to Baltimore?
President Trump has been briefed on the situation. He said on Truth Social, this is a bad situation that looks like it should have been prevented. Joining me now on the phone.
He said the airplane was on a perfect and routine line of approach to the airport. The helicopter was going straight at the airplane for an extended period of time. It is a clear night. The lights on the plane were blazing. Why didn't the helicopter go up or down or turn? Why didn't the control tower tell a helicopter what to do instead of asking what they if they saw the plane? This is a bad situation that looks like it should have been prevented. Not good. Well, we know for one thing, it's going to be a lot of lawsuits and it's going to be a lot of settlements and payments for the families, and this is absolutely tragic, a travesty.
Known as Boyd Group International President and aviation analyst Mike Boyd. Mike, thank you very much for weighing in. Your reaction?
Look, this is a problem we have with air traffic control. Mr. Duffy has to do something about this. We've messed around with air traffic control for 30 years. Now we have deaths in the Potomac because of it. So this is a wake-up call for the new administration, which means Fix the FAA and fix it soon before more people die.
You are attributing this and putting the blame on air traffic control and the FAA. Why? Specifically, tell us what was wrong.
We had two flying machines run into each other over the Potomac. That is the FAA's job to avoid those things. Now, who knows? We have all kinds of human issues here, but the fact is we've had near miss after near miss for the past umpty-ump years. Now we've had a collision. The collision is the responsibility of the FAA and the air traffic control system. Somebody failed.
So tell me how it's possible that a Black Hawk helicopter entered the airspace or the path of a commercial airliner.
You know, they let it happen, number one. Number two, the fact is we are dependent upon humans, and humans make mistakes. There's no question about it. But the very fact we had a Black Hawk helicopter that was in the path, basically, of the approach to Washington National Airport, that is a problem. That should have never happened. This is why we don't have helicopters of a lot of over New York City anymore, because they ran into each other or they'd crash into a building. It's the same thing here. So there was a major failure here, and that helicopter shouldn't have been there. The airplane should have, but not the helicopter.
Well, obviously, there's a major failure somewhere, but Sean Duffy, the new transportation secretary a moment ago, was on that press conference saying that the paths were standard, that the jet coming in was following a standard plan, and the Black Hawk helicopter was on its own standard plan. The two can't make sense together if, in fact, there was this failure. So if he's saying this, they were on their standard paths, why didn't the air traffic control see it?
Because we have a bad air traffic control system that, unfortunately, his predecessors have tolerated. They've talked about it, but they've tolerated it. And the fact is, yes, if both was doing the right thing, something was wrong with the system, and that means people died because of it, which means Mr. Duffy has to turn around and say, something was really wrong here. We have to change it and change it right now. I fear he's just going to warm that seat like his predecessors did, and I hope I'm real wrong. But he never even mentioned that at his hearings. He never said anything about, the dangers in air traffic control or other things. So this is a wake-up call for the Trump administration.
What?
Let me pivot for a second and let y'all know some of the people that were actually on the plane that passed away. They are starting to come in, and they're starting to identify them. So I'm showing them as I get the information. I'm showing them to you guys.
Caught up on that breaking news we've been following all morning. Search and rescue is underway in the Potomac River in Washington, D.C. after an American Airlines jet collided with an Army Black Hawk helicopter.
Here is what we know at this hour. 64 people were on board that American Airlines flight. We know 3 were on board that helicopter. NBC is reporting that flight was carrying members of the U.S. figure skating team. And within the last half hour, we've learned from Russian state media, as they have confirmed, that former ice skating world champions Evgenia Shevkova and Nadim Navov were now coaches, were passengers on that plane.
And this happened at Reagan National Airport. Again, this is in Washington, D.C. We know more than 300 first responders. They are battling cold conditions right now, and overnight they've been searching for these survivors.
What's up, Molly? What's up, Mika?
Who has been following all the new developments overnight. Anna, good morning.
Good morning, ladies. I want to start about with the impact here in Indy. We know that there are 4 canceled departures and 4 canceled.
So, yeah, U.S. ice figure skaters were all on a plane. They friends, they family. It's just a bad situation. It's a bad situation all the way around. So I'll continue to monitor it. I'll stay up to date with it. I'll give you guys updates as it comes in. And then we'll figure it out from there. All right? Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Just the latest news incoming. As the information comes in, we're figuring it out. Let me read some of these super chats, and then we'll move over to the next part of the show. Manuel AG says, hey, Anton, just wondering what trading stocks app do you use? I hate to say this. Manuel, you must not be a part of the Patreon because I talk about what app I use. I don't like talking about it publicly because I don't give free promotion to these companies anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, they get enough free promotion. I don't think that they need any more. Make sure you watch the latest Stock Club. I'll talk about what I use on that. Join Stock Club, join Patreon this weekend, and then you could deep dive into it. But the only reason I'm not saying it publicly is because they got to pay for that. They can't get all of that visibility. P. Shank says, good morning, Anton Daniels in the Millionaire Morning Show. Shout out to P. Shank. I appreciate you. Messy Mathematician says, Anton, prayers for the families of the crash victims. It's too much happening and it's only January. Must be a new Bible coming out. Nope. Word of God is the living word. Ain't nothing coming out different. We just not abiding by the words that's in the one that's in existence already. Shout out to Red Cup Talks podcast with Mika. Y'all need to be subscribed to that. She gives great information. She do great work over there. It says crazy. You know, I live on the river and it was so sad. Shout out to my girl Mika. She also says that's how helicopters and planes fly a lot in D.C. Crazy. Titan, I appreciate you, Titan. Titan says, was someone on that plane with the cure for the disease or something? You know how they do about that type? Nah, it ain't even that deep. Ain't that deep. It ain't that deep. Executive Suite Emily says, what happened to the 4 survivors? I know I'm not bugging. I saw reports of 4 survivors last night on X. Am I going crazy? This isn't good. I haven't heard anything. Be careful of the information. And you got to cite your source. Anybody can say anything. You got to cite your source. Jerome Gray says Trump ended that safety aviation program right when he got in office. Really? Y'all looking for any reason to blame Trump, huh? Chris Cunningham says someone important was on that plane or not, unless you like figure skating. Ken J says FAA came out and said the NJ drones, New Jersey drones, were FAA drones doing research. That research, where were they doing, and why didn't the gov say that to calm the public? Because Biden was in office at the time, and Trump is being very transparent and releasing that information. Good morning, Anton. I want to send prayers to those families. This is so disheartening to hear. I agree. I absolutely agree. First, we got to make sure that we send condolences and we're compassionate, and then that's when we can start to figure out what's going on. And I think it's going to be a lot of research, a lot of lawsuits, and a lot of information that come out. But I'll keep you guys up to date. As I get it, you'll get it right here on the Millionaire Morning Show. All right? All right. Let's move on. In the meantime, I will try to stay up to date. I know Trump is supposed to go live sometime at an 11 o'clock hour to give an update on everything. So we'll go over to this Laken Riley Act. We'll switch back over if we need to when Trump goes live so that he can address the situation. And then we're going to go from there. All right, friends and family, let's talk about it. Trump signs into office the Laken Riley Act. He talked about migrants. He talked about the budget that they've been using to absolutely hose taxpayers and more. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. I'll continue to read super chats throughout the show. Let's rock.
Taken in any way, shape, or form. We are merely looking at parts of the big bureaucracy where there has been tremendous waste and fraud and abuse. In that process, we identified and stopped $50 million being sent to Gaza to buy condoms for Hamas. 50 million. And you know what's happened to them? They've used them as a method of making bombs.
Okay, so we got a couple things that we need to figure out, because first of all, we got to continue to hold this administration accountable. That ain't nothing but money laundering. Can't be nothing but money laundering. At all. Can't be anything but money laundering. I'm not believing that they sending $50 million for condoms over to Gaza. That sounds like look, you know what that sounds like? That sounds like a horrible, and when I say horrible, a horrible business proposition. If somebody came to you, because we experience it all the time, right? We deal with it all the time. And that once you start getting money, we got hit with the black tax. I told y'all what the black tax is the other day for those of you that may not be black and or those of you that may not have heard of it or experienced it. And the black tax is when people come to you and they say things and they try to propose to you a good business idea, or you got to basically take care of previous family members. That was dusty. They didn't do what they were supposed to do. They were smoking weed. their entire lives. And then now, because you was the one that was successful, you got to start taking care of past family members and basically subsidize their living situation. And you feel entitled to, because you start to feel guilty. You know, I don't know how successful y'all family have been and stuff like that, but I've known plenty of people that feel guilty for being successful because they then have to overwork to subsidize the lifestyles, and they have to try to remain ghetto. They got to still talk stupid. They still got to dumb themselves down around family members that don't add value into their lives, but they feel some sort of obligation because they blood. You don't have any obligation to these people at all. And then you going to get your homeboy, Ray Ray. Ray Ray going to hit you up. What up, Ray Ray? Yo. What up, Tom? What you got going on, fam? Nah, I'm just chilling, working hard, taking care of business, trying to get it together. You know what I'm saying? I got a daughter that I got to put through college. Okay. Yo, fam, I got this bomb idea. I'm telling you, ain't nobody thought of this one before, but we gonna make a lot of money. So you sitting there at the dinner table. This is what $50 million in condoms to Gaza sounds like to me. Now, again, I'm a C student, all right? I'm a C student, so you got to bear with me, because the way that my mind works, I have to make it make sense in my mind in order to try to understand why they were sending $50 million in condoms to Gaza. Because the only other logical explanation is that there was money laundering and they was finessing. This sounds similar to my cousin Ray. Yo, Todd, I got this crazy idea. And then I'll be like, oh, okay, Ray, what's going on, bro? What's up, Raymond? Man, why you calling me by my name that my mama gave me? Call me Ray like everybody else. But yo, check it. I want to do a restaurant. Hey, Ray, that's not really a new idea. No. You got to hear the rest of it, dog. Check it out. We going to do a restaurant and a car wash at the same time. Restaurant and a car wash at the same time. How does that work, Ray? When you come in there and you get a car wash, if you get the deluxe, you can get your food for free. But here's the thing. You get your food while you going through the car wash. Ray, so you saying I'm gonna be getting my car washed? I can get my tires armor rolled. I just gotta finish my food before we get through the end of the car wash. But yo, check it. It's gonna be an extra long car wash though. Oh yeah, and all I need is $350,000. And so you just looking at them like, word? This what we got going on? This is what we doing? When I hear all of the things that Doge and the Trump administration is unveiling and being transparent about the things that they are basically canceling that was funded under the Biden administration, it just makes you have that same reaction as talking to your cousin that came to you with a good idea and told you that you was going to have a restaurant and a car wash in the same business. It's the same thing. You just be looking at them like, so when this went up the chain of command, who signed off on this one? Who signed off when they got the memo on their desk and said, you know what? It's a good idea to send $50 million over for condoms in Gaza. Who was the person? Because this had to go through a chain of command. Because in corporate America, this would never fly. You would get fired immediately for such ideas. They would think that you was drunk, high, and on meth at the same time. It just makes you go, what in the world is going on in the federal government, and why was this flying in the first place? But let's let Trump talk about it.
About that, we stopped an attempt to make an illicit payment for illegal alien resettlement. We canceled $181 million in DEI training contracts. This is just for the training of people in DEI, which has been terminated and completely terminated. And we paused $1.7 billion in unauthorized payments to foreign organizations, including stopping more than $40 million that was on its way out the door to the very corrupt World Health Organization, which has not done its job.
And I don't want nobody sitting there talking about, dog, Anton gave me a good idea. No, that's not a Patreon exclusive. I'm not telling y'all to open up a restaurant and a car wash at the same time. Don't say that I told you to do that, because I didn't tell you to do that. I don't want to see no restaurant car washes in the hood. All right?
Done it properly. We also...
What up to all of the people that's here today?
We also blocked $45 million for diversity scholarships in Burma. 45, that's a lot of money for diversity scholarships in Burma. You can imagine where that money went. These were the types of payments, and many others. I could stand here all day and tell you things that we found, and we have to find them quickly because we want the money to flow to proper places. But these were the payments and types of payments affected by the temporary freeze, and the American people strongly support these efforts. I talked about it during the campaign, and they voted for us in record numbers. Every single day we're now putting America first and fighting to get the most out of every single tax dollar for our great citizens. We've gathered this afternoon to take another historic action. However, in a few moments, the Laken Riley Act will become the very first bill that I proudly sign into law as the 47th President of the United States. Laken was a brilliant and beautiful 22-year-old nursing student from Georgia, the best in her class. She was always the best. They would say, Laken, how do you do this? And what do you do? They were always asking her questions. She was respected by everybody, even her teachers. They respected her so much. From the time she was in first grade, Laken knew she wanted to spend her time caring for others. That's what she did. To her friends and classmates, she was a light of warmth and kindness in every single room. To her parents and family, she was everything in the world. They've had a miserable period of time. Just after 9 a.m. last February 22nd, Laken went out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia, but she was just never returned. She never came back, did she, huh? Parents are here, sister, all of her relatives. While on her run, Laken was attacked, viciously assaulted, beaten, brutalized, and murdered by an illegal alien gang member who was set loose into our country by the last administration. We are deeply honored to be joined today by Laken's parents, Allison and John, and her sister, Lauren. Thank you very much. Thank you. So sad. We were together right after that happened, and it's a tremendous tribute to your daughter, what's taking place today. That's all I can say, but it's so sad we have to be doing it at all. Thank you very much for being here. To Laken's family, we will keep Laken's memory alive in our hearts forever, everyone's hearts. With today's action, her name will also live forever in the laws of our country, and this is a very important law. This is something that has brought Democrats and Republicans together. That's not easy to do. Laken did it. Laken did it. America will never, ever forget Laken Hope Riley. The vicious criminal who murdered Precious Laken was an illegal alien member of the barbaric Venezuelan prison gang known as Tren de Aragua. He trespassed across our southern border in 2022 and was apprehended by Border Patrol, but under the cruel policies of the last administration, instead of being deported, as he should have been, he was released into the United States, as were millions of other people, many of them very dangerous people. And you see what we're doing, we're getting them the hell out of here. He was soon arrested again in New York City on charges of endangering a child, but because of New York City's deadly sanctuary policies, as we have in California and many other places, which we're going to end them, he was released again to reoffend. The Biden administration then provided this illegal alien criminal with a free, taxpayer-funded flight from New York to Georgia, where he was arrested yet again.
This has to be like a bad movie that we are part of to know that it could have been avoided. That's the part that bothers me. I would be up at night as a parent, not because I did anything wrong, but because the people that we call our leaders and that we put our faith in to keep us safe. And that's one of the reasons why we believe in America. We believe in the American dream. We believe and we pay our tax dollars. We don't like it, but we pay it anyway. And to know that it could have been avoided, but that it wasn't avoided because they were led over here. And then not only were they led over here, they were released several different times, caught, identified, broke crimes, broke laws, and did the worst things. And they were just released out to the wild, out to the public again and again and again and again and again. They could have been stopped 80,000 times. Y'all want to know why it's so important? Because I see a lot of you raging liberals and you left-leaning lunatics out here in these streets, and y'all sitting there and y'all whining on a regular basis and always saying, I can't believe it, but they're a good person. No, you're not. Because the minute that somebody shows you who they are by breaking the law and skirting responsibility for not being over here the right way, you have to believe them, because you can't let one innocent person die because you can't enforce the law or people just refuse to do the right thing. There's people that are waiting to get into this country. They doing it the right way. They spending their money. They save their money. They absolutely are being responsible human beings and looking to become American citizens. You broke the law. You got arrested multiple different times. And we have raging left lunatics defending this behavior. But at what point will some of you then be responsible for your rhetoric or your voting patterns, or these leaders have to take accountability? Because Biden has never, not once, not one time ever said Laken Riley's name, but they couldn't wait to jump on the George Floyd train. They couldn't wait to jump on a George Floyd train. My daughter asks me a lot of times for a lot of things, because I've always taught her since she was a little kid, ask me for what you want. If I don't give it to you, it's just not what's best for you, but it doesn't mean that I don't want it for you. And yesterday she asked me about 50 different questions, and all of it came back down to about 3 different things that she really wanted. And all 3 of those things were things that I adamantly was against. And I had a conversation with her, and she chased me around the kitchen, and I still stood on my square because I really wanted her to have some of these things. But she is not old enough, ready, or mature enough to be in that space whatsoever. And so I had to preach to her patience. And although I want to give her the world, I can't give her anything that would harm her or stunt her growth or distract her from the thing that she's supposed to do. And that is what being a responsible leader is. And that's also why the word of God says, be faithful in little, I'll make you ruler over much. Because if you can't do what you're supposed to do in the beginning with the small thing, what makes you think that I should trust you to be responsible with anything else that goes on in life? Y'all let these people come in y'all homes. Y'all don't know them. Y'all let them watch y'all children. Y'all don't know them. Y'all let them and y'all shake their hands. You don't know where they from. You don't know what kind of spirits they on. You don't know nothing about these people. You don't know their business. You don't know what they did back in their home country. You don't know nothing about them. The only thing you know is that they skirted the process, came over here illegally, And then some of them, a lot of them, still broke the law and did crimes here in the United States of America. And I see you raging lunatics defending them on a regular basis in your hard voice, in your grown-up voice, in your big old age grown-up voice, and you defending this. You don't even defend people that you know in your real life this hard. You ain't even got the back of the people that you know in real life this hard. You know me, and you come in here and you talk crap about me every single day inside of the chat, but you sitting here, oh yeah, I want to make sure that I defend the people that can't defend themselves. I don't even know these people, but I want them to be here. You hate me, you love them, and you hate me, and at least you know me. You don't even know them, and you defend people you don't even know. You just want to be down. You want to be a part of something so bad, and they don't even like you. They don't even like you. They wouldn't even let their daughter talk to you. They wouldn't leave their daughter with you to go out to eat on a date, and you defend them. They don't even like you. A lot of these people, not all, but a lot of them in their culture, if you walk into their restaurant where they primarily only spoke that language, they would look at you like, what are you doing here in your own country? And you so busy looking them up to lick them up. That's what my parents used to say. They used to say it to, hey man, don't look them up to lick them up. They don't even like you. Go where you appreciate it. Go where you celebrate it, not where you tolerate it. You would defend them to the death, and they would slit your throat if they had the opportunity to. Some of these illegal people that they deport and that they let out of these jails. And you can't wait to defend them. I'm the person that paid for your Section 8 housing. I'm your daddy. Don't worry, we're going to get to that later. We're going to get to that. We're going to get back to this Trump conversation in the meantime.
Constantly, this time for stealing from a Walmart along with his gang member brother, who was a bad one. Only after being released a third time by the U.S. law enforcement did this cold-blooded criminal go out in that fateful morning hunting for women on whom to prey. That's what he did.
Talk to him, April.
He hunted. It was like a hunter. And we're going to show him who the hunter is. This horrific atrocity should never have been allowed to happen. And as president, I'm fighting every single day to ensure that such a tragedy never happens again. We don't want this to happen. And under the law, thank you. Under the law I'm signing today, the Department of Homeland Security will be required to detain all illegal aliens who have been arrested for theft, burglary, larceny, shoplifting, assaulting a police officer, murder, or any crime that results in death or serious injury. In addition, for the first time ever, this act gives state governments the ability to sue the federal government for immediate injunctive relief if any future administration ever again refuses to enforce the immigration laws of the United States, like happened for 4 long years. And that was happening for 4 long years, frightful years. Amazing. You'd say, how can people do this? How can they allow this to happen?
That was a long 4 years.
How can they allow criminals to pour into our country?
I ain't gonna even lie. I think that last this 4 years, in my 42 years on this earth. In my 42 years on this earth, I could tell you that I think that the last 4 years had to be the longest years ever. You know, life kind of goes back kind of quick when you think about it. Man, I remember, man, dog, that was just yesterday. No. Listen, the last 4 years during COVID and lockdowns and inflation and boxelitis. Okay, you could take the boxelitis part out there. You know, some of us a little bit more distracted than others. But over the last 4 years, I'm telling you, it's been a tough, rough ride for a lot of people. People was getting their cars repossessed. You seen crime running rampant. They had slideshows all over the country. They was raiding and rioting, and y'all almost revoted that crap back in. The last 4 years has been a disaster. Let me tell you how bad the last 4 years is. The last 4 years was so bad that we didn't even really have anything major happen inside of the United States of America, like a housing crisis or something like that, and it was still bad. It was just bad for bad sake. It was bad for bad sake, for no reason. Inflation was high. Laws was being passed. Target was putting G-strings in the boys' part that was for girls. I seen transgenders was having a party on the White House lawn. They found crack cocaine inside of the White House. I said, what is going on in America? Gotta be the end of days. Gotta be the end of days. It was just, every year was like, oof. 2022 got to be better than 2021. Okay, 2022 was rough. 2023 got to be better than 2022. Jesus. Okay. I mean, we at rock bottom now. 2024, here we come. Then Cat Williams came in. Hey, Shannon. And he predicted that 2024 was going to be bad. And we said, oh, no, Diddy arrested. You know what I'm saying? Like, not Diddy. Not Diddy. 2024, 3, 2, and 1 was all bad. All bad for a lot of people. I said, good God. And to put the cherry on top, I pulled up next to your chick with this blue face on and that new thing. And you said, I don't like him. I don't like him. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notification. Listen. I know that you want my attention. You want it so bad. You subscribe to the channel because, hey, pick me. I'm the loud one. I'm the bad kid inside of the classroom today. I need some attention. I don't know what to do to get some attention. I want to feel good. Hey, Anton called me today. Anton called on me and he brought me to the... Don't be the... Listen. Sometimes it's authentic. Sometimes you guys have an authentic disagreement with me. And then other times... you just doing it because you being a bad kid and you want, I don't know if like, you know what I'm saying? Like you ain't never had a father in your life and stuff like that. Like, come on, bro. Tighten up, big dog. Tighten up. Like sometimes people just do stuff and they say stuff to get my attention because they just want me to pick on them. They want me to call on them. Okay, come to the front of the class, recite your ABCs. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes people just really want, like, you don't have to be the dumb one all the time. Don't you know how dumb you are? Like, I know it makes you feel good. It gives you that dopamine hit to your brain, but you don't want to be smart at no point in your life because we all adults now. Like that, we validate that when you're a child, but not when you're an adult. When you're an adult, you just look like a fool. You know what I'm saying? Or you can keep being what you being, and that's cool. Like we elevating. We elevating. Like I still see the same thing, the same characters, the same thing over and over. Pick me, Anton. Hey, show my chat. Show my chat and bring me to the front of the congregation. You said you was gonna bring me to the front of the congregation. Drop the link inside of the chat so I can come up there and debate with you. Drop the link because I got a disagreement with you. That's what you woke up on this morning. You went to sleep all night. You had kids. You got 3 baby mamas. You know what I'm saying? You got a job that you need to go to that's going to fire you if you late one more time. And you thought all night about this thing that you want me to drop the link in the chat for, that you want me to debate with you about. That's your life's purpose? Like that's what you went to sleep thinking about? No. It's crazy. When you really break it down and you start to look at it, it's crazy, right? It's insane, bro. Anyways, let me read the super chats. Shout out to my girl Dorcas. Hey Dorcas, I appreciate you for the super sticker. Thank you, baby. Dolores says, I just found your channel and I love it, and I love you too. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm and make sure you subscribe because it's awesome. Elizabeth, what up, Liz? Says, good morning, Anton. Hope you having a good day. I hope you having a good day also, Liz. Hello from Grandma. What up, Grandma? What up, baby? Ruthie. I know you, Grandma, because your name Ruth. Your name. I know her Ruth or two. Ruth or two. Yeah. Them Renum spoons, yeah, they be trying to come up with them bad ideas. I ain't trying to hear that. Ken J says, $50 million in condoms to Gaza. Meanwhile, in Houston, get the wash with the barbecue. Crazy work. They be coming up with them bad ideas, 3-man. Rashawn Irving says, bro, they actually have that here in Chicago. Stop it, dog. Man, it's very successful restaurant. Bat Bar Wash Combo, Harold's Chick. Oh God, Jesus! Shout out to Chicago. That's a whole nother country in itself. A different perspective says, what foreign aid isn't money laundering? That was a wild one that you just said. 3-Man Podcast says DEI barbecue and wash. Yeah. Rashawn Irving says restaurant bar car wash combo. Sorry for the incorrect spelling. I got you. I know what you were saying. Your cousin Ray Ray must have been in room 9. Facts. That's not a lie. That's the truth. Michael Johnson says, one more. Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage is the best jingle commercial on YouTube, hands down. What? You know what? I'm not surprised. High Tolerance says, good morning, AD Dims would still be day partying and sipping mimosas, sassies, sashan, all in the midst of tragedy had Cam and Tampon got. Could y'all imagine if Tampon Tim? We'll get there. Don't worry about it. They call it Queequee's Restaurant Wash. Any thoughts on Destiny, Revenge Corn, and Academics grooming scandal? I am 1,000% out of the loop when it comes to Destiny. I don't follow men that wear blue hair, so I'm uninformed when it comes to Destiny. Academics, I've been hearing stuff hit the news and stuff like that, but I haven't researched it because I don't be wanting that type of content to be on my algorithm. You know what I'm saying? So y'all gonna have to fill me in. Maybe we'll talk about it on After Hours tonight. Shout out to you, Jim Short. Qbert says, thanks, AD. Grills and Wheels, serving up hot plates and fresh coats, one rim at a time. Oh, you see how I said that? Courtney is in the building, says, what's good, Time Dog? Good stock club last night. I'm joining the podcast apart from my personal channel. Any tips or guidance? I'm joining a podcast apart from my personal channel. Any tips or guidance? Just be authentically yourself and don't be afraid to pick a side, and don't be unnoticeable. Be memorable in whatever it is that you do. Chris Cunningham says you can't go to Canada without a felony. Why should the U.S. accept felons and murders? You can't go to Canada without a felony. I'm guessing you meant to say with a felony. Tony Walker says, I'm 24 with recent divorce mom and bought a house this past year in August. Anton, I want to thank you for encouraging as a Gen Z man. I'm currently learning about how to code and listening to the Millionaire Morning Show. Let me look at that again. You're welcome. I'm 24 living with recently divorced mom. You might have to give me a little bit more insight on that because that's a little crazy. Dusties need love too. Shout out to my Dusties. RJV says they're crying about migrants, but once the Diddy trial starts, they'll forget. I also want to look at this one more. This wasn't a super chat, but I do want to acknowledge you. You say, my brother from another mother. I had got upset. It looks like my prayer working. Don't y'all say that where 2 or 3 is gathered in his name. There he is in the midst of me, and he's not there. He there. My brother, I had got upset over some things and stopped watching you. Remember, I prayed against sensitivity until the other day. I listened to you talking about being faithful and not losing your bag for the box. That spoke volumes about you. Well, don't keep falling off, Amma. You know what I'm saying? We rebuke sensitivity. Don't feel no type of way. Leverage the information in order to be successful. All right? Anyways, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Tap into the Patreon this weekend on the 1st. I want y'all to join on the 1st, not the 30th, not the 31st, unless you're doing it for the year. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all, let's continue to rock out. JD Vance Stark contrast between J.D. Vance and Tim Walz. Remember Tim Walz? We almost forgot about him. J.D. Vance pulled up on Fox News, and he spoke about working with Trump. I didn't get a chance to really look at it. I only looked at 5 seconds. I said, oh, I got to play this one on the Millionaire Morning Show. J.D. Vance has been in the news recently. In 10 days, he's made more appearances than Kamala Harris had the entire time that she was in office outside of her campaigning for president of the United States of America. Let's get into it.
Mr. Vice President, great to see you.
Good morning. Thank you for
First of all, congratulations. All right, has it sunk in yet? Hillbilly elegy.
Yep.
Now the Vice President of the United States of America.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. No, it hasn't sunk in. And, you know, I joke that I took
Hillbilly Elegy is, I believe, the name of his book that he had wrote. Okay, guys? So stay with me. Come on. Let's go.
2 wrong turns, and I ended up, you know, a hallway down from the Oval Office. And it's just an incredible thing. You know, the first time I'd ever actually been to the Oval Office was with President Trump as his vice president last Tuesday.
Never been there.
Had never been to the Oval Office.
Wow.
And, you know, he always talks about, you know, you have these executives, foreign heads of state. The Oval Office just has a particular power, and I certainly felt it. And it was just amazing to stand in that room. And I remember at the time thinking, I wish that I had something profound to say. And I just stood in there saying, wow, this is crazy. Right?
No, I had the same experience when I went in. President Bush was in office at the time. And I remember, I thought it was surreal. I was like, is that really him?
Yeah.
And it is a special place. And then, of course, Trump has his little red button, which next to him, which is not the red button.
Well, which he screwed with me about that, actually.
Did he really?
Yeah, no, so we're just mid-conversation. I think we were with Senator Thune and Speaker Johnson, and he has this sort of beautiful, ornate wooden box on his desk with a red button, and he presses it.
Yeah.
And he just kind of looks over at me, and I'm like, sir, is that did something bad just happened?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I just ordered a Diet Coke.
That's what it is. It's the Diet Coke red button, and it comes running in. Then he'll ask
I'm about to do that. What's the cost? What's the construction cost for me to get a red button in my studio and at home to get my chick to go and get me what my drink is, whatever my favorite drink is? Yeah, that's what we do. If you can't put a red button on your chick, then she not your chick. That's the new standard. J.D. Vance just taught me that. I know he didn't mean to do it. It was indirect. But I am about to put a red button for my chick, and it is going to mean something. It's going to mean something. Hey, make me some hamburger helper. Hey, come rub my... It's got to mean something. If Trump could have a red button, we can have a red button too. Shout out to J.D. Vance for giving me that insight. That's pretty dope. To order a Diet Coke or order a Coke, I'm going to hit the red button.
Would you like one?
Yeah, exactly.
I've known President Trump for over 30 years.
Sure.
Had a close relationship with him in all those years.
You know it, Molly.
And he and I, when he was thinking about running, we had arguments for hours deep into the night about, I said, I'm not voting for you if you're not a conservative.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said, it's your phone, clown. That's one of my Room 9 students. We like to make sure that we acknowledge them occasionally. For those of you that may not be familiar, I'm not the texter. I've had entire fallouts with people on the internet over the fact that I'm not the texter. I mean, I'll text. I'll see you. And then when I see you, you know what I'm saying? I just see you. I just see you. I see you. And sometimes it doesn't warrant a reply. I'm not trying to reply to you every single time you text me. That's a lot of work. You know, I'm busy. I'm busy. I'm not the texter, big dog. You keep texting all of these women over and over again. You keep texting her, replying to her, having whole conversations, arguing with her in the text. I'm so mad at you. Why you ain't? I'm not going to do none of that. I ain't going to do none of that. I don't even argue. Everybody, listen. When I see you, y'all know what I do? Let me derail myself a little bit. We're going to get back to J.D. Vance. Do you know what my method is? The first thing that I do, especially if I ain't seen you in 2 days, it's inspection time, baby. Yep. It's inspection time. Stand up, lift up the shirt, drop the pants. Inspection time, baby. Do a spin. Let me go ahead. I'm just like Sam Rothstein. You know, when he was inspecting the dancers on Casino, when he was trying to figure out whether or not they meet the requirement to continue to perform on stage, it's inspection time. I need to see everything. I want to know if it's any additional bruises. I want to see exactly what the curvature is. I want to make sure that it's that everything is tight the way it needs to be. And I make you spin. Spin around. It's inspection time. You'd be surprised how, listen, I'm not going to keep on giving y'all the game. I'm not, Carmen, honest to God, on my life, is inspection time. You'd be surprised how excited a woman is when it's inspection time. Inspection time. They come over there. They running over there. Inspection time. Come here. And don't be stealing my methods, because you're going to try to do it and you're going to get slapped in your face. Inspection time? What, you want to see my rolls? Oh, baby. It's inspection time. I got to make sure that you ain't been tampered with and you doing what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it. All right, it's inspection time. Let's get back to the show. J.D. Vance, ladies and gentlemen.
You really are now getting to know him very well.
Sure.
What have you learned about him?
Well, it's interesting. One, I've learned that he has the most interesting decision-making process of any person I've ever met. And I think it's what makes him such an effective leader, is that when he actually is thinking about doing something, he doesn't just ask, like, you know, his closest advisor or some policy person. He you know, if it's going to affect a business, he'll call the business's CEOs. He'll go and try to talk to the workers. He tries to take inputs from everywhere. And I think it's one of the reasons why he's so in tune with where the American people actually are. But it's also, I think, one of the geniuses of the way that he makes decisions is that he actually tries to talk to everybody. And that's something, honestly, I could write a book just about the way that he gathers information from all sources. Wow. And it's very unusual. I mean, in Washington, most politicians...
I'm familiar with it. We'll get back to it. Y'all want to go? Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Jesus.
If it's a national security issue, they'll talk to their national security person and maybe, you know, somebody else in their office. If it's a business issue, maybe they'll talk to a CEO. The president talks to everybody, and that's a very, very profound thing about the way that he actually operates in Washington.
I would describe him as a force of nature, and there's nobody else like him.
Yes.
And I think in many ways he's misunderstood as well, because I know the personal side of him and I know the business side of him.
All right, y'all. We're going to go ahead and see if we can get this live feed and this live footage popping off. I hear Trump is live talking about everything with the plane collision. We're going to spin over to that temporarily, and then we're going to come back to this whole situation and see what's happening, all right? See what we can find out here in these streets of what's going on with this whole plane crash situation. All right, let's see what we got.
Problems and other mental and physical conditions under a diversity and inclusion hiring initiative spelled out on the agency's website. Can you imagine? These are people that are, I mean, actually their lives are shortened because of the stress that they have. Brilliant people have to be in those positions, and their lives are actually shortened, very substantially shortened, because of the stress, where you have many, many planes coming into one target. And you need a very special talent and a very special genius to be able to do it. Targeted disabilities are those disabilities that the federal government, as a matter of policy, has identified for special emphasis in recruitment and hiring. The FAA's website states they include hearing, vision, missing extremities, partial paralysis, complete paralysis, epilepsy, severe intellectual disability, psychiatric disability, and dwarfism all qualify for the position of a controller of airplanes pouring into our country, pouring into a little spot, a little dot on the map, a little runway. The initiative is part of the FAA's diversity and inclusion hiring plan. Think of that. The initiative is part of the FAA's diversity and inclusion hiring plan, which says diversity is integral to achieving FAA's mission of ensuring safe and efficient travel. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's just the opposite. The FAA website shows that the agency's guidance on diversity hiring were last updated on March 23rd of 22. They wanted to make it even more so. And then I came in, and I assume maybe this is the reason. The FAA, which is overseen by Secretary Pete Buttigieg, a real winner. That guy's a real winner. Do you know how badly everything's run since he's run this Department of Transportation? He's a disaster. He was a disaster as a mayor. He ran his...
What happened to the audio? Am I missing something? What's going on with the audio?
And he's run it right into the ground with his diversity. So I had to say that it's terrible. Then it's a group within the FAA, another story, determined that the workforce was too white, that they had concerted efforts to get the administration to change that and to change it immediately. This was in the Obama administration just prior to my getting there. And we took care of African Americans, Hispanic Americans. We took care of everybody at levels that nobody's ever seen before. It's one of the reasons I won. But they actually came out with a directive, too white. And we want the people that are competent. But now
too
we
white?
mourn and we pray.
Did he say too white?
Would like to ask all Americans to join me in a moment of silence as we ask God to watch over those who have lost their lives and bring comfort to the loved ones. And I just want to say God bless everyone in this room. This has been a terrible, very short period of time. We'll get to the bottom of it. So we all saw the same thing. We've seen it many times. I've had the honor of hearing tapes. Tapes are scary. Very scary tapes. You had a airliner coming in, American Airlines. He was doing everything right. He was on track. He was the same track as everybody else. They came in. It's probably the same track as they've had for 25 years or more. He's coming in the path. And for some reason, you had a helicopter that was at the same height, obviously when they hit, but pretty much the same height, and going at an angle that was unbelievably bad. When the air traffic controller said, do you see, he was talking about, do you see him? But there was very little time left when that was stated. And then also, he said, follow him in. And then almost immediately after that, seconds after that, there was the crash that took place. Well, you follow him in, that means like everything's fine, follow him in. You had a pilot problem from the standpoint of the helicopter, because it was visual. It was a very clear night. It was cold, but clear, and clear as you could be. The American Airlines plane had lights blazing. They had all of their landing lights on. I could see it from the Kennedy Center tape. We had a tape up on the Kennedy Center. That seems to be the primary thus far. I'm sure we'll see other tapes because it's such an area where there are a lot of cameras looking up into the air, into space. So we'll probably see many other shots of it before too much time goes by. But we had a situation where you had a helicopter that had the ability to stop. I have helicopters. You can stop a helicopter.
Talk your talk, Trump. He said, I got a helicopter.
It had the ability to go up or down. It had the ability to turn. And the turn it made was not the correct turn, obviously. It did somewhat the opposite of what it was told. We don't know that would have been the difference because the timing was so tight. It was so little. There was so little time to think. But what you did have is you had vision. The helicopter had vision of the plane because you had vision of it all the way, perfect vision of it all the way from at Kennedy Center where the tape was taken. And for some reason, there weren't adjustments made. Again, you could have slowed down the helicopter substantially. You could have stopped the helicopter. You could have gone up. You could have gone down. You could have gone straight up, straight down. You could have turned. You could have done a million different maneuvers. For some reason, it just kept going and then made a slight turn at the very end, and by that time it was too late. They shouldn't have been at the same height, because if it was at the same height, you could have gone under it or over it, and nobody realized, or they didn't say that it's at the same height. At the same height, it still wouldn't have been great, but you would have missed it by quite a bit. Could have been 1,000 feet higher. It could have been 200 feet lower, but it was exactly at the same height, and somebody should have been able to point that out. So all of this is going to be studied, but it just seems to me.
I like the fact that he's very, very transparent about what he's
talking about. I like to use the
about.
words common sense. Some really bad things happened, and some things happened that shouldn't have happened. So you had a helicopter going in an identical direction. You had a helicopter that was at the exact same height as somebody going in essentially the opposite direction. You had a plane that was following a track, which is a track that every other plane followed. And I don't imagine, I know I've heard today that they might have been following the preceding plane, which was pretty close, but not that close, the preceding plane. But you wouldn't have even been able to see that because of the direction that the helicopter was coming in at. So you had a confluence of bad decisions that were made. And you have people that lost their lives, violently lost their lives. We're going to take a few questions. I'd like to ask our new Secretary of Transportation to say a few words. Sean Duffy, great gentleman, just started. It's not your fault, and I know you agree with me very strongly on intellect and even psychological well-being of the air traffic control. It's such an important position, and I think I can't emphasize stronger. I changed it when I first ran in 2016. I changed it. We had the highest standard that you could have. And then they changed it back. That was Biden to a standard you just, I read it to you. That was from.
Hey, Trump ain't missing no opportunity to throw Biden under the bus.
In this room actually wrote that. And then I changed it back a few days ago. And unfortunately, that was. We'll see. We don't know that necessarily it's even the controller's fault. But one thing we do know, there was a lot of vision, and people should have been able to see that, you know, at what point do you stop? At what point do you say, wow, that plane's getting a little bit close? So this is a tragedy that should not have happened. Please, sir.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I would just note.
All right, so cool. So we got an update on what was going on from President Trump as far as what his remarks on. I'm assuming that they're still gathering information so that they can better understand exactly what happened. But it sounds like some ego, maybe miscommunication, misdirection. People did what they wanted to do. I don't know if you can just completely blame it on air traffic control. But again, like I said, I'll stay on top of it. I'll keep you guys up to date on what's going on out in these streets. And I think it's time for us to get back to J.D. Vance. You know what I'm saying? So, J.D. Vance, one-on-one. Let's get back to it.
And as we've seen, hundreds and hundreds of executive actions. Yes. And you've been here barely a little over a week now.
Yeah.
Pretty speed of light. It's speed of light.
You know, we've, I think, accomplished, honestly, more in 8 days than the entire Biden administration accomplished in 4 years. And, of course, the things that we're accomplishing are actually good things, and the things they were accomplishing were mostly bad things. But the president has incredible energy. I mean, this is something you hear other people say about him, and it's hard to really appreciate it until you're up close and personal. I don't know how much he sleeps or if he ever really sleeps. I mean, you'll get phone calls from him.
I can answer that. Okay. He doesn't sleep a lot.
You'll get phone calls at 1 a.m. and he'll just, you know, he'll talk about policy and he'll talk about your family. And he just, there's something incredibly energetic about him, but you sort of need that, actually. The federal government has become so sprawling. And the bureaucracy is so unresponsive to what the president actually wants to do that you kind of need somebody in there who's constantly on. It's all gas, no brakes. That's certainly what we've seen in the last, 8 days. I think that's what we'll see for the next 4 years.
When you look at
Is that a characteristic of great leaders in a general sense, in that you don't know when they sleep? I mean, of course, we all have to sleep and we all sleep, and I'm not saying that I'm one of the great leaders, I'm just saying in general. And this could be applied to business people. This can be applied to people that are obsessed with what success looks like. It can maybe be applied to athletes. It can be applied to anybody that wind up reaching a certain level of success in their respective fields, right? What I'm wondering is that a thing to where we have irregular sleep patterns, or you don't sleep as much, or you never know when they sleep, or it always seems like they're on and that they're never really off, and they always got one eye on what's going on, or a pulse on what's going on in the streets? Because I will tell you, this last administration, I remember Biden saying that he got to be to bed before 8 o'clock. Sleepy Joe, that's why they start calling him Sleepy Joe. Because he said that he had to be to bed before a certain time, even though the world continues to operate while he's sleeping. Oh, man. That's so
For
funny.
example, the two biggest issues in this campaign, immigration and the economy.
Sure.
And because that's impacting the people in Ohio.
Of course.
Right?
Yep.
That's impacting their life hard. And
That's
a lot of
absolutely
Americans have been really hurt. There was a study that came out, like 56% of Americans can't withstand a $1,000 emergency.
Sure.
It would be devastating for them. That scares me. I've been there. I've lived there. I know you've been there.
Of course. Yeah.
Not fun. Not where you want to be.
Not fun at all.
And when I think of, the issue of immigration in particular, I'm looking at, we have known terrorists in this country.
Yes,
we
we
have
do.
known cartel members, known gang members. We have known murderers, rapists. And I'm watching the reaction of the left and the left-wing media and the Democrats. And, we're back to Nazi fascists, Hitler, Stalin, Mussolini. And I'm like, what part of these other people are you missing?
No, it's totally crazy, Sean. And if you look, there was the guy who went viral a few days ago that we deported, 17 violent criminal convictions, and was actually saying...
The guy from Haiti.
The guy from Haiti.
Yeah.
He was saying, I hate Trump, I love Biden because Biden wanted me to stay in this country. Is there a better endorsement of Donald J. Trump that a violent criminal who shouldn't be in this country doesn't like him because Donald Trump is actually enforcing the immigration laws of this country? And it's everywhere, Sean. It affects everybody from all walks of life. It's the drug epidemic. It's the crime. It's the fact that if you live along the southern border, you're affected by this cartel activity. I mean, we've seen, Sean, just in the last couple of days, multiple cartel members have fired at our own border patrol. And you ask yourself, why wasn't that happening a couple of years ago? Because they weren't empowered to do their job. The border has become so lawless that we're actually engaging in military-style engagements just to regain control of our southern border. And thank God we're actually doing it this time, because if we had another 4 years of Biden and the Democrats' wide open southern border, it would permanently, I think, irreparably transform this country. So yeah, we're doing immigration.
If we had another 4 years, of what we experienced the past 4 years, I'm pretty sure that this country would be gay, all the way gay. And I'm not talking about the gay, happy gay. I'm talking about the gay, like the gay. This country would go to hell, honestly. I think that this country will be burned to the ground by 2028 if we had another 4 years. Honest to God, I think that this country will absolutely burn down to the ground. 100%. Absolutely. Anyway, shout out to JD Vance. We appreciate him. We will be a socialist, sassy, all of the S's. We will be all of the S's in this country. Let's continue on with the show. I want to read a couple of super chats and then we're going to rock out. Tony Walker 5 says, I'm currently living with my recently divorced mom and bought a house last August. It's hard, but that sense of urgency has inspired me to learn how to code. Had to clear that up last super chat. So here's what I'm wondering. Are you living with her or is she living with you? Because I'm assuming that you're living with her. And you don't have to super chat. Just put it in the chat. People will let me know what's going on. That's what I'm trying to understand. If you're a son husband or you just getting your life back together. You know what I'm saying? She sends you a 7-page text and you instantly reply K. First of all, never reply K. Not just the K. You got to put okay. Grown men put okay. Or you just do like I do. I just put the emoji. Or hit them with the thumbs up. I hit them with the thumbs up or this emoji. What does this emoji say? Is it like you thinking? Are you interested? Are you confused? It's like you can't really get a pulse on what that emoji says. I know what they say it's going to say, but you don't really know what that emoji is saying. So when they send you a text message or something that's really meaningful and you hit them with this, I say, I told you not to text me. I told you not to text me. Anyways, it says you thinking, you pondering, you trying to figure it off. Jerry, it will piss you off so bad. Don't worry, we will get you together. We will get you together, Jerry. Christopher Mayberry is in the building and says, have to take into consideration people panic in these type of situations. And that means you shouldn't be in the sky. I love how transparent Trump is. Yeah, he's really on it. I don't believe it was a freak occurrence. I do. LaFleur, shout out to LaFleur. We appreciate you. Yoshi504 says it shows vigilant, can't sleep until the work is done. Okay, all right, I like that. Refrigeration Devil says, I sleep from 2300 to 03:45, either working out or I'm studying my craft. Y'all got a cat nap too. You got to make sure y'all take some good naps. Casual Germ says, every leader has or have their hour breaking point. Is just a matter of time when. I have no idea what it's like when millions follow you. But a few dozen is a lot to me. How they handle pressure is what matters. Shout out to Casual Germ. I appreciate you for that. High Tolerance says, I know Mike that dude, but Donald J is that dude. At 78, totally transparent and coherent. Imagine dropping Sleepy Joe off in Gaza and asking him, where we at? What's going on? Preach. 2012 in the building says, is it smart to buy Bitcoin through Cash App? I have never bought Bitcoin through Cash App. I think you need a crypto wallet. All right. Mr. Lot says, thinking of a master plan, but got nothing but sweat inside my hands. You don't know nothing about that, Mr. Lot. You don't know nothing about that. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. All right, so let's talk RFK Jr. RFK Jr., they say, got a round of applause during his hearing, his Senate hearing. You know, all Trump appointees is basically going through the Senate hearing. They going through the motions unnecessarily, even though they know that people go get appointed. They just want to get their 5 minutes of fame. RFK Jr. got a round of applause during his Senate hearing. Here, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's rock.
Mr. Kennedy, welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your decades-long advocacy for a clean environment, for children's health. I can't say as I'm surprised by the hostility on the other side. I'm highly disappointed in it. I don't know if you remember when you called me up and you were contemplating setting your political differences aside, joining forces with President Trump on an area of agreement, addressing chronic illness, trying to find the root cause of all these problems facing this nation. My first response was, Bobby, this is an answer to my prayers. We need to get to the answers of this, but even more, we need to heal and unify this divided nation. I'm not necessarily the most optimistic guy because we've got enormous challenges facing this nation. But I thought, wow, here's somebody from the left, somebody I don't agree with on many issues politically, coming together with President Trump and focusing on an area of agreement, something that the American people desperately want. Finding out the answers. What has caused autism?
Yeah.
What is causing chronic illness?
Yeah.
Ms. Kennedy, I think I've come to know what's in your heart. I think I know the personal and political price you've paid for this decision. I want to say publicly, I thank you for that. I truly appreciate what you're doing here.
I think that RFK Jr., and this is personally, shout out to my girl, Carrie. I think that RFK Jr. probably has one of the most important positions within the administration. I mean, they're all important, right? You could talk about defense. You can talk about finance. You can talk about Tulsi Gabbard. You can talk about the military. You can talk about a lot of different things, right? But when we talk about our personal health and what we consume on a daily basis and the fact that there's people that are enriching themselves, if y'all want to take up an issue, right, you ain't got to take up an issue with DEI. You ain't got to take up an issue with Target. That's a publicly traded company. You ain't got to feel some type of way about Walmart. You ain't got to get mad at Fat Joe. If y'all had just as much energy and vigilance towards A, the people that are local legislators in your own communities, and B, of what they putting into y'all food, maybe I would actually join in on y'all crusade. RFK Jr. probably has one of the, if not the most important position inside of this administration as an appointee of Trump. Because what we consume and what we put in our food, listen, we just so what happened to wake up, they got 50 ingredients inside of a bun. Inside of a bun is 50 different items inside of a bun that make up a bun. Everybody is on a spectrum now. Everybody got autism. Everybody got ADHD. You can't focus. Everybody need therapy. Man, if this ain't the biggest profit driver in the world, I don't know what is. If y'all wanted to take up, because see, I don't know how anybody can go against RFK. He wasn't even traditionally a Republican. He just aligned himself with Trump specifically because he knew that Trump didn't really care about politics. He cared more about policy, and he cares more about fixing this country authentically. So there is no incentive for Trump to not have somebody like RFK oversee what's happening in our FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, and see what we got going on in our food. Absolutely, this is an important thing. And I don't even know why he got into a beef. Let me pull up this beef that he had with Elizabeth Warren. They said him and Elizabeth Warren was going back and forth and a little spat. Democrats aggravate me because they can't even find nobody. It's nobody that you like. Nobody. The only person that you like is the people that's a part of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
In the meantime, we should more.
I think you and I agree on, and that is that Big Pharma has too much power in Washington. You said that President Trump asked you to, quote, clean up corruption and conflicts. Sounds great. You've said that you will, quote, slam shut the revolving door between government agencies and the companies they regulate. That also sounds great. So here's an easy question. Will you commit that when you leave this job, you will not accept compensation from a drug company, a medical device company, a hospital system, or a health insurer for at least 4 years, including as a lobbyist or a board member?
Can you just repeat the last part of the question? Can I commit
You're
to
not going to take money from drug companies in any way, shape, or form.
Who? Me?
Yes, you.
Oh. Yeah, I'm happy to commit to that.
Okay, good. That's what I figured. I said it's an easy question to start with. And I think you're right on this.
So I don't think any of them want to give me money, by the way.
Let's keep going. You're right because to say yes, because every American has the right to know that every decision you make as our #1 health officer is to help them and not to make money for yourself in the future. So I want to talk more about money. I'm looking at your paperwork right now. In the past 2 years, you've raked in $2.5 million from a law firm called Wisner Baum. You go online, you do commercials to encourage people to sign up with Wisner Baum to join lawsuits against vaccine makers. And for everyone who signs up, you personally get paid. And if they win their case, you get 10% of what they win. So if you bring in somebody who gets $10 million, you walk away with $1 million. Now, you just said that you want the American people to know you can't be bought. Your decisions won't depend on how much money you could make in the future. You won't go to work for a drug company after you leave HHS. But you and I both know there's another way to make money. So, Mr. Kennedy, will you also agree that you won't take any compensation from any lawsuits against drug companies while you are secretary and for...
She went the long way around just to try to throw him under the bus based off of the fact that he need to be able to feed himself. And so the money that he generates is based off of an endorsement or a sponsorship, similar to how we have endorsements and sponsorships over here on YouTube as content creators. So he does commercials like everybody else. And he does a commercial, and for every return on investment that they've made and given to him, he gets a percentage of the success rate when they are successful. So now she's trying to leverage that and use that and try to make it seem like he's a bad guy, when in reality, it's an endorsement, it's a sponsorship.
4 years afterwards.
Get your bag, big dog.
Well, I'll certainly commit to that while I'm secretary. But I do want to clarify something, because you're making me sound like a shill. I put together that case. I did the Science Day presentation to the judge on that case to get it into court.
Mr. Kennedy, it's just a really simple question.
I hate it.
You've taken in $2.5 million. I want to know if you will commit right now that not only will you not go to work for drug companies, you won't go to work suing the drug companies and taking your rake out of that while you're a secretary and for 4 years after. It's just...
I'll commit to not taking any fees from drug companies while I'm secretary.
No.
I'm
asking about fees from suing drug companies. Will you agree not...
Jesus. Ooh. Gosh. Dog, I'm used to this from women that look like me. And maybe it's just based off of proximity. I'm not used to this from these other women. Good Jesus Christ. Woo. That, y'all want to know what drive a dude up a wall? That. Dog, I went off on somebody for over talking me the other day. Honest to God, I went off on somebody for over talking me the other day. I said, dog. I said, oh, so wait a minute. So every time I start talking, you gonna start talking? You know what? Boop. Yeah. Just like. I don't like that. I don't like that. I already believe that women are better with their mouths. You look better with your mouth closed. Listen, you so gorgeous. Don't open your mouth and prove yourself to be a fool. That's what the Lord said. The word says, don't prove them right. Don't prove them. I said, Jesus. Start making my ass water. You ever has a woman talk to you so long that your eyes start watering, and then they tell you that you don't communicate well? Dog, I will check out in 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, I'm going to take a nap. Honest to God, I'm going to take a nap immediately.
To do that.
You're asking me to not sue drug companies, and I'm not going to agree to that,
Senator. Drug companies as much as you want.
I'm not going to agree to not sue drug companies or anybody.
So let's do a quick count here of how, as Secretary of HHS, if you get confirmed, you could influence every one of those lawsuits. Well, let me start the list. You could publish your anti-vaccine conspiracies, but this time on U.S. government letterhead, something a jury might be impressed by. You could appoint people to the CDC vaccine panel who share your anti-vax views and let them do your dirty work. You could tell the CDC vaccine panel to remove a particular vaccine from the
Somebody said that Elizabeth Warren was doing some native call. Is that true?
Schedule. You could remove vaccines from special compensation programs, which would open up manufacturers to mass torts. You could make more injuries eligible for compensation, even if there is no causal evidence. You could change vaccine court processes to make it easier to bring junk lawsuits. You could turn over FDA data to your friends at the law firm, and they could use it however it benefited them. You could change vaccine labeling. You could change vaccine information rules. You could change which claims are compensated in the vaccine injury compensation program. There's a lot of ways that you can influence those future lawsuits and pending lawsuits while you are Secretary of HHS. And I'm asking you to commit right now that you will not take a financial stake in every one of those lawsuits, so that what you do as secretary will also benefit you financially down the line.
I'll comply with all the ethical guidelines.
That's not the question. You and I, you have said
you're asking me, Senator, you're asking me not to sue vaccine pharmaceutical companies. Yeah, you are. That's exactly what you're doing.
Look, no one should be fooled here. As Secretary of HHS, Robert Kennedy will have the power to undercut vaccines and vaccine manufacturing across our country. And for all of his talk about follow the science and his promise that he won't interfere with those of us who want to vaccinate his kids, the bottom line is the same. Kennedy can kill off access to vaccines and make millions of dollars while he does it. Kids might die.
You know what we call this? Honestly, you know what I call this? I call this making a movie. Yo, she just made a whole movie. Kids might die. You're going to get rich. You're going to sue everybody. What? RFK Jr. is honestly, he probably the realest of them all as far as being transparent about his fight. All you got to do is look at RFK Jr.'s history. If anybody has not understood RFK Jr., he went against his own family. His own family has turned against him for his stance against things and the things that they believe, especially as far as being far left liberals, and his dedication to make sure that we clean up our food and the Food and Drug Administration and these pharmaceutical companies and his war against what they got going on in our food. If anybody, man, this is, I mean, because God, that woman is like a hyena. If anybody, just based off of their background, is more dedicated to fixing what we put in our bodies, from the vaccines to the food that we eat, it is RFK Jr. She just made a whole movie out of nothing. Literally, she just made a whole movie out of nothing.
But Robert Kennedy can keep cashing in.
Senator, I support vaccines. I support the childhood schedule. I will do that. The only thing I want is good science, and that's it.
All right.
Women like that will make you check out. Honest to God. Leave me alone. Get me up out of here. Ladies, don't be that. Don't be that. Please don't be that. You got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Pookie's friend Ray Ray says, women that sell box buy Bitcoin through Cash App, so anyone who's thinking about it should consider that first. Y'all a mess. Travis Abrams says, Dr. Fauci hate to see RFK coming. That's a fact. Because he going to question him and he going to grill him and he going to actually take him to task. I'm taking notes on the companies mentioned. Shout out to Casual Germ. I appreciate you. Scooby Don says Elizabeth makes almost $20 million from Big Pharma lobbying and towards her campaign for Big Pharma. AD, did you see RFK nephew mocking his voice and all? Nah, because RFK is a real one. I don't got no respect for that. What in the World TV says the nerve of her to say that. And what do we care about nephew? Hold on, wait. Let me just say this. What do we care about family anyway? Extended family. If they not a direct relation as far as mother, father, brother, real mother, real father, real brother, real sister, right? Not no half brother that you ain't never met before, not no half sister or something like that. Son, daughter, real son, biological, real daughter. We don't care about nephews, nieces, cousins, third cousins, aunties, uncles. None of them even matter. None of them matter. For whatever reason, when I hear people, they say, oh man, a nephew didn't came out. Man, it's a possibility you can never even know them. A cousin, what, a third cousin on your uncle's side, on your mama's side? If it's not a direct relation, it don't even matter. We don't even take these people into consideration, all right? So remember that. Direct relation only, and sometimes they don't even matter. The nerve of her to say that. She spoke about that sponsorship like she is not getting money from the back and the rest of them under the finger of corporation. Look pretty with your mouth closed unless, oh, Jesus, I'm not even going to read that. Banks Hayes says, and I wasn't saying that much. I was saying something else. Banks Hayes says, Warren and the Demon Preacher are sisters. Whiskey Pierre Louise says, Anton, the big 3 vaccine is in Massachusetts. Dion Hendricks says, AD, what are good apps I could invest on? Y'all got to get in the Patreon. Join the Patreon on Saturday, big dog, and we'll talk about it. But you need to get a crypto wallet, and I don't want to give any sponsorship opportunities because we got big bags and people are paying big money for future sponsorships in order for me to say stuff. I don't want to say that out loud. So y'all got to excuse me, but I can't say that out loud. All right, let's continue on with the show. What we got go? Oh, spend 10 minutes on this, y'all. ICE is taking over LA and Chinese migrants is getting caught up. Check it out.
New video shows a woman apparently detained and taken away by ICE. This happened, here it is, over the weekend. Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf, he's live downtown outside the ICE detention building after speaking with that woman who caught it all on camera. Matthew.
Yeah, that neighbor tells us that the woman who was apprehended was brought to this ICE building here behind me. This as we start seeing more arrests like this across our area.
These people are asking her for her identification and asking her if she's from Mexico.
New video of federal agents making a possible immigration apprehension this week outside Los Angeles.
She was on her way to work and they just proceeded to take her out of the car and take her. ICE is in Pomona, you guys.
This taken Monday morning outside Diana Delgado's.
Hey, do y'all think that when y'all jump on an application and then you say, hey guys, they're over here, do y'all think that that's going to do anything, like that's going to change something? You do realize that the majority of the people that's in your algorithm, they not even where you from. What you think that the ICE agents is going to say, oh no, they posted me on social media, we got to find another place to go to? No, you still got to go to work. You could take the back streets, you could take the front streets, you could take the middle streets. You know, we had this thing, and maybe it's just where I'm from, but you guys can substantiate it yourself. That when you was riding dirty, and riding dirty don't mean drugs. It could mean you could be riding on a suspended license, whatever, right? But when you're riding dirty and you're trying to avoid the police, a lot of times what you would do is you would take side streets. Now, it would take you a lot longer to get to your destination, but you tend to stay off of 7 Mile, 8 Mile, Woodward, Livernois, Grand River, John R., all of those places, right? And that's over here in Detroit, but basically you stay off the main streets because when you riding by, for some reason, no matter how good you do 10-2 on the wheel, no matter whether or not you're using your blinker, for some reason, they always can spot you. I don't know if it's because your seatbelt is too tight or what. But no matter what, on main streets, you always got pulled over. Always got pulled over. So you just try to blend in. You never try to beat the pack. You never speed. You stay right behind it. But it always seemed when there was a cop in the rear view, they just went out their way to come and get you. You still got to go to work. They say that all of the migrants is hiding, that they not showing up at their food and beverage jobs, or they not showing up at whatever it is that they do for a living. You know, you can't hide forever. Eventually, they gonna see you. You can't hide. Eventually, they're going to see you. One day, you just gonna have to pay the piper. And you thought that you was hiding, and you going straight to Mexico. No pass go, no community chest, no chance, no B&O railroad, no none of that. You going straight, you're not even going to jail. You going straight to Mexico. You gone. You ain't got no rights. You can look at as many YouTube videos as you want where they say, stand up for your rights. You don't have to give them identification. Don't give them identification if you want to. See, that work in whatever county, Alpena County or whatever county that y'all from, that may work there when you got your camera phone. Where I'm from, it's a little different. Oh, you don't want to get your license? Hey, Jay, that's exactly how I go. Hey, Jay. Hey, he said he don't want to give us, he said he don't want to show us no identification. Yeah. Hey, man, why y'all surrounding my car? No, you want it to be tough. No, all right, here's my license. No, we don't want it now. If we want your license, we gonna get it off of you. You keep your license. See, where I'm from, insubordination is met with resistance. It's a little different. We believed in stop and frisk where I'm from. We had a group of guys called Gang Squad. Anybody from Detroit, anybody that came from the 80s, anybody that's watching this, you know what? If you hear the name Gang Squad, woo, busting heads, taking names. Only way you can get out of a confrontation with Gang Squad is if you had a stack on you, because they may take that as payment and let you live to breathe another day. You knew what streets you wasn't supposed to be. Gang Squad is coming. Yeah, no. All of this extra George Floyd stuff, and I know my rights. And I'm going to put it on TikTok. I got you. Yeah. You going to put it on TikTok? Okay, yeah. They look at your ID, look at what your address is. Okay, no worries. We'll see you later. You think they ain't going to pay you a visit? You think that that's the end of the conversation? Okay. No. Have a nice day, ma'am. You too. Yeah. See, all of this extra know your rights. We passing out pamphlets. Don't open the door. I don't know where I was like, ooh, this is a new thing. So we can get away with crime out here today? Because it's different. It's different from where I'm from. Oh, you don't want to, oh, I'm sorry. You what? What you not gonna do? Yeah, no, I heard you. No, we heard you. Hey, Jay, you hear him? He said he wasn't going to do it. I got you. Okay. All right. Lonzo on training day was a real thing for every officer that we ran into in Detroit. You was going to do what you was supposed to do, big dog.
Home in Pomona.
Shout out to
The first
sister.
thing
I'm
I
going to read
heard
that
was,
shortly.
what part of Mexico are you from? But
Playback room said, wait, so they violate people's rights? Where you from? What rights? What you talking about? Oh, y'all them Gen Zers. You must be from Gen Z. You a Gen Zer? Okay, I got you. You know what it is. Gang Squad was notorious. Look them up.
very aggressively in Spanish. And I knew something was wrong, so I proceeded to record.
What is she doing? Heading to work? What is she bothering you guys? Is she doing something dangerous?
A woman taken away by law enforcement. The city posting this to Facebook saying these aren't their police officers.
Does your neighbor have a violent history? Is she wanted for anything?
No. So I was able to speak to the daughter. You know, she did confirm, you know, her mom has no criminal background. The family confirmed they were looking for someone else. And then after that, they proceeded to ask her what part of Mexico she was from.
We need more deportations, a lot more deportations, and that's what we're working on.
The DEA Los Angeles office sharing these images of their agents last week working side by side with Homeland Security to enforce immigration laws. ICE also taking these pictures of recent arrests, including a Colombian national convicted of extortion, kidnapping, and trafficking, along with this foreign fugitive from El Salvador wanted for homicide.
Cars that are surveilling us?
A group in Riverside County posting this video publicly to Facebook on guard, calling on volunteers to watch.
Oh, y'all still be using Facebook. I got you.
For ICE and Border Patrol agents in Home Depot parking.
Ooh, you gonna get a lot of them. Listen, I know that Trump said that they was ramping up deportations and we needed to meet a quota. Tom Homan was out here in these streets. If you want it, they not at Lowe's. Lowe's is slightly higher end than they want to be at. They not at Ace Hardware. They not at O'Reilly's Auto Parts. They not there. They at Home Depot. The Dep. They at the Dep-O. They hanging out at Home Depot. Walk. They hanging out at Home Depot. They all in the aisles. They outside. They got their tool bag. If you want to go and get you some illegal people, half the time they be hanging out. That's the spot. The taqueria and Home Depot. All right?
Lots saying we need support with ICE Border Patrol watch shifts. You will be trained.
The day before that incident, they did the Home Depot around the block. They did the same thing there, and it's just really sad.
So we've reached out to the DEA as well as the local ICE office for an interview, or as well as possible ride-alongs, and so far those requests have been denied.
Yep, all of the we call them grapist vans. Grapist vans. They the white vans with no windows. The Meccano lines. It's a whole lot of the Meccano lines out there. Shout out to GM. GM made a hell of a lot of Econo. What is it? The Ford Econo lines? It's the Ford Econo lines, right? Ford made a hell of a lot of Econo lines out here in these streets. Anyways, on the flip side, I heard that they arrested a whole lot of Chinese migrants down there in Florida also.
All right, when we talk about illegal immigration, a lot of people assume all those illegal immigrants are from Latin America, but that's not the case. Illegal immigrants are actually from all over the world, including China. Encounters with Chinese nationals coming here illegally.
So y'all thought that they was only going for the Guatemalans? The Guatemala. What's my boy Sway Lee? He got to change that lyric now. That Guatemala song slapped too. Y'all thought that they was only going for Venezuelans, people in Guatemala, Colombia, Mexico. No, we going for everybody. We on everybody in here that ain't supposed to be here. You got to go.
5,000% just from 2021 to last year. That's more than a blip. It's a trend. And it's playing out all over the country, including in Florida, where Chinese migrants are being smuggled into the state. For the second time this month, police stopped vans carrying migrants in Coral Gables, a wealthy Miami suburb. And 26 Chinese nationals and 2 smugglers were arrested.
Coral Gables.
Are these simply desperate individuals looking for a better life, or are they potentially spies or saboteurs sent as agents of the Chinese Communist Party? Joining us now is senior national correspondent Brian Anton with more details on the Florida arrest. Do we have any idea where all these Chinese migrants are coming from and why?
You're right, Jen.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out, Elizabeth, and ICE is too, where they're coming from and where they're going. It's very interesting what's been happening here in Coral Gables, though, because as you mentioned, this is a very fancy, wealthy part of Miami. You've got the Biltmore Hotel, the Vizcaya Estate isn't far from here. These houses behind me are tens of millions of dollars. And now for the second time in 2 weeks, there were these white vans pulled over here in the neighborhoods of Coral Gables, and inside them were dozens and dozens of Chinese migrants. and also smugglers. They were stopped yesterday, and then 2 weeks before that, very, very similar, another white van. The police chief here says they believe that these migrants were dropped off somewhere in the area along the water, along the Atlantic Ocean here. And it's interesting when you dig into it, there's this issue with the Caribbean right now, Elizabeth. China is buying up thousands and thousands of acres of land in the Caribbean, places like Antigua, the Bahamas. It's being called America's third border, and we're told that's a place where these Chinese migrants stop on their way to Florida. We spoke with Congressman John Molinar. He is the chairman of the Select Committee of the CCP. He is aware of this. Listen to what he told us, Elizabeth.
In the case of the Chinese, you don't know the affiliation with the Chinese Communist Party, and that's the concern, because the Chinese Communist Party will leverage Chinese nationals to do things that are nefarious and against the interests of the United States.
Shout out to the Trump administration and Tom Homan for continuing to do the work. You know what's going to happen? This whole story, this whole thing is going to go away. It's not going to be as popular. When they first got in office, it was really popular and people was really into it and they was trying to pay attention to what was going on. But it's going to be less popular over a period of time. And it's not going to be the hot story at the moment because Diddy's trial is going to start and everybody going to stay distracted. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stay right on top of it to let you know where your cousins is going to get pulled over at. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification. One more thing that I want to talk about, but I got to acknowledge the people that support the platform first. Pookie's friend Ray Ray says, I lost 6 out of my 9 dogs to Jesus Christ, I can't even do it. I can't do it, y'all. Crazy. What in the World TV says her baby daddy called that ice on her for for that money. Mr. Lot says, Mr. Ice Cream Man, Mr. Ice Cream Man, Mr. Ice Cream Man. I love that album. Hustler, baller, gangster, cat pillar. Who I be? Your neighborhood drug dealer. A young dude that's ballin'. I'm in these no limit soldiers. They get rowdy. Shout out to you. I appreciate you, Mr. Lot. It's so hot in these streets with ice and all of the Home Depots and auto zones are empty. Well, that means y'all got some jobs to go to. Get off of Section 8. We're going to talk about it in a minute. After I quit smoking trees, I finally realized I could smell weed from the car in front of me. And people still be like, how do you smell weed in that car? That's 6 cents, baby. Quan, 42. Hit the Quan. Hit the Quan. Shout out to Quan. Hey, Anton. Not sure if I missed Stock Club, but I tried to join via Patreon yesterday. How do I join, and when is the next Stock Club meeting? You have to be on a tier. All right, so the link is in the description in order for you to tap into the Patreon. All right. My music taste is great, ain't it, Michi? It's pretty phenomenal. Shout out to you, Shalina. Shout out to Shalina. Yeah, tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. I reposted it. It was a live stream that we did yesterday, and then I re-uploaded it so you guys can be able to look at it again. Shout out to you for tapping in and join Patreon on this weekend. Not right now, but join it on the weekend. All right. Yeah. Oh, you want to go get the mixtapes, Brandy? I see you. Hit the Quan. I'm gonna read Sisters in a minute. You know I love Sister. Our former police chief actually helped train Denzel on the road. You can look it up. Did he? Interesting. Thanks to illegal, so many cars will be at auctions. You can get you one on the cheap, and you can go get you some tacos. Go get you some tacos, nachos. ICE better go to the container yards. That's how they coming in. Casual Germ says people forgot about the movie Crash with Ludacris. I remember that. The movie led more towards hate and trafficking instead of focusing on people trying to survive. Joe Gunn 84 says Genesis Illegal Alien is the song anthem for the next 4 years. Alicia Williams in the building says, nail and beauty supply shops are about to close up. Oh, ladies, it's an opportunity. Refrigeration Devil says, actually, AD, they're at Joe Randazzo's. Oh, yeah, I like Randazzo's. We used to meet up there before we went and raced cars. My girl sister in the building. Good afternoon, AD. This is towards your red button fun. All right, I'm going to have I'm gonna have that installed. When I get my red button, and it ain't gonna be the this is easy button. We gonna thank Sister for it. Sister is a sponsor of the Red Button Fund. We love our sister. Thank you, sister. You are my baby. You always gonna be my baby. And shout out to Rand Wilson. I appreciate you. Says Ghetto D or Ice Cream Man. Ice Cream Man all day long. Ice Cream Man all day long. I'll take Ice Cream Man over Ghetto D all day long. Thank you, sister. I appreciate you. This last part of the show, ladies and gentlemen, will probably be one of the more entertaining for you, not so much for me, because I'm disgusted. Absolutely, positively disgusted. Some people were asking me, they say, Anton, did Quick Hits go away? No, Quick Hits didn't go away. We just trying some different things and putting it on hiatus temporarily because we got a new set, so we need to elevate. And so I may bring Quick Hits back to see whether y'all like it or not. But how do y'all feel about people on food stamps? I know. Everybody balling. Everybody is on Instagram. They just got back from Tulum. They just got back from Tokyo. They just got back from getting to that bag. They taking care of business. Everything is good all across the board. But let's be real for a second here. How many of you guys are on some form of public assistance currently, whether that be food stamps, Section 8 housing, something like that? How many people, and how do you guys feel about public assistance? Sierra Holmes says temporarily it's okay, but not for life. Janice says she wants some. As long as it's not a forever thing, says Molly. Temporary is okay. Do a poll, AD. Wish they would fade them out. They need to be at least working every 4th of July. I'm on food stamps. Never was. If you're married, it's basically impossible to get. I used to know people that would not get married or they would not live, basically create a home with their children from the father of their children because they were afraid of their public assistance being taken away. They were afraid of their public assistance being taken away. They were. I remember it. I seen it with my own eyes. And I generally feel the same way as you guys. I don't think that it should completely go away. Absolutely not. No. Sometimes people fall on hard times for things that is out of their control. Sometimes you are born into an environment where you're conditioned to believe a certain thing. Sometimes you may just need a little bit of a boost to get you to where you need to go. I am not, let me be very, very clear, as a bag chaser myself, I am not against public assistance. I believe that everybody needs a little bit of a help every once in a while. However, I do not like, I do not love, and I do not appreciate people that take advantage of our tax dollars and make it a forever thing, especially when they are an able-bodied adult. They not even looking for a position. They not looking for a job. I don't like when people are able-bodied adults taking advantage of the system. I'm okay. That's what we pay our tax dollars for. If it goes to the American people and they actually fell on hard times, I mean, good God, I seen everybody suffering during the 2008 housing meltdown. You know what I'm saying? People were displaced. Life was different, you know? I seen some things during some times in people's lives. I mean, people need help, and I'm okay with that. I'm not a monster. I am empathetic and sympathetic towards your needs. But it's some people that's been on it for 5 years, 6 years. They ain't never gonna move. They don't never want to move. They ain't never interested in moving. Check out this woman right here and what she got to say. I think you're going to get it. It's going to be interesting.
Family is on disability. Food stamps. My husband's on food stamps. I'm on food stamps for the baby. Though we all have Medicaid. Okay? To wake up this morning and find out that the federally funded programs are going to be stopped, just like all of you Trump voters warned me it would. This is what you all...
Let's stop here for a second. Let's take it in. Let's breathe. Let's breathe. She on food stamps. Her husband is on food stamps. They keep having children. I decided to, when y'all send this to me, I decided to go up her timeline. I will tell you that she is more than an able-bodied full adult. She has more than enough time on her hands. She be running these streets. She be making TikToks. She be busy. And they are getting all of y'all. I didn't even know that you can get it when you was married. I didn't even know that you can get it when you had 2 adults in the household. I mean, God, you got it for your husband too. Your husband got it separately than you. How they do that? What's this new program that y'all got going on? Let's continue.
Wished for, okay? I want to please point my finger at every single Trump voter who is in my comment section of a video that no longer exists. It was food stamp day, and that comment section was so full of people saying how they couldn't wait for this day. Can't wait for them to take that away. Can't wait for food stamps to go away. You can't wait for my family to starve. Because when we lose our disability, when we lose our food stamps, when we lose our medical, we're going to starve. I have a 1-year-old baby, okay? I have 2 older children who are also on food stamps. Let's
stop right there again. You got okay, so here's a mandate. If you are, and this is what I think should happen. I don't know how you can implement something like this, but this is one of the things that I think should happen. If you got food stamps and you already got kids, I think you should be restricted from being able to get additional food stamps for more kids. If you get another kid, you should be cut off. You don't get an increase in benefits. You can't keep on. You still getting humped on? You still having the SEX thing going on in your life? So you got 2 big kids. You got grown kids almost out. And they on food. She said they on food stamps too. So you got some big grown kids that's on that dog. If it's a lie, she said it.
Stamps, when we lose our medical, we're going to starve. I have a 1-year-old baby, okay? I have 2 older children who are also on food stamps.
How does that work? Somebody fill me in. N. Patterson says, love you, AD, but I disagree. Of course you're going to disagree because you believe that it's the American taxpayer's responsibility to subsidize your lifestyle. You believe that it is our responsibility collectively as bag chasers to subsidize your lifestyle. You don't look at it as temporary. You don't look at it as old folks that are disabled. You fully grown. You a 20, 30, 40. You know what aggravate me more than anything is when I see a 20-year-old guy, 30-year-old guy, 40-year-old guy on the side of the road with a sign and they say, hey man, let me get $1 or whatever it is that they say. I'm just tired. I just want to go get some smokes or whatever they sign is. You think because you being honest with me that you ain't really need nothing and you able-bodied and they be clean and stuff like that. They sit there all day and they collect money from people, feeling sorry for them. And I am a person that has donated and given my share of money to a whole lot of people. I cannot stand when I see a grown man. I don't even like when I see grown men working part-time jobs and that's the only job that they got. If you got one part-time job and you grown, we got a problem. If you ain't rich and you just doing it just for fun, we got a problem, man. I don't like grown folks, men and women that is taking advantage of us, the taxpayers, because for some reason you don't think that it come out of our pocket. You don't think that it come out of our pocket. That's disrespectful. It's evil. So we got to subsidize your lifestyle because you don't agree with me? Let me ask you a question, bro. Let me ask you a question. Well, let me play the rest of this video, and then I'm gonna ask y'all a question.
Without the federally assistance, and it's not just my family, people with disabilities, veterans, the elderly. This doesn't just affect me. This affects so many people, millions and millions and millions of people who are going to lose. We're going to lose their assistance. People who cannot just walk out the door and go get a fucking job. I don't think any of you understand what you have done by voting for Trump, and I will never fucking forgive you.
All right, cool. So we cool. We don't need your forgiveness. Anyways, number one, this is just an example because she was reacting off of misinformation. The press secretary, and I showed y'all that video yesterday, had already emphasized that there aren't any stops to programs with regard to food stamps and Section 8 housing and Medicare and Medicaid and all of that stuff and disabled veterans and everything. So number one, get some good information. And the fact that y'all can't even read or y'all can't even do your own research mean that you don't deserve to get these benefits in the first place. Because at the very least, you can't take your information from TikTok and Instagram. That's number one. So that's already been debunked. The thing that they pausing funding on is diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, DEI scholarships, condoms going over to Gaza, those type of things. All right. So number one is false and it's misinformation. The second thing is, and this is a question that I got for the people. All right. I'm genuinely asking this question to the people. Here's my question. When you wake up in the morning and you say, you know what, I got to go get it. I got to go take care of business, or I got to figure out what I need to do today. You don't go back to what you used to or what you used to dream about and say, man, I want greater. I want to live in a mansion. And even when you get money to live in a mansion, you realize that you don't even need that much space. I don't really want all of these rooms. All I'm doing is giving more maintenance to myself, and I got to do more grass, and I got to pay more property taxes. But it's the availability of it. It's the ability to be able to do it if you want to. Y'all, when you wake up in the morning and you live in Section 8 housing, right? And you've been living in Section 8 for like a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. You don't get bothered by that? Is that not something that you then start to get bothered by it and you think to yourself, man, I'm sick of this, bro. I want a better life. I want a better lifestyle. I want to do things differently with my dog. I want greater. I want to ride on I want to get in a nice car. I want to be able to take my girl to a nice restaurant. I want to be able to go to the restaurant or go grocery shopping without having to worry about no budget. Like, you don't want greater for yourself as a man? Like, you cool with people choosing where you live? Like, I never wanted anybody to subsidize my lifestyle. I don't want to pay a portion. I don't rent to Section 8 people. I won't even consider it. People keep telling me, man, that's the move. That's the finesse you can make. I'm not even interested. I don't want people that is in subsidized housing living in my properties and tearing it up, because I see every single one of them and it's not good. It's not good. I don't want roaches on my property. I don't want any of that type of stuff. Like, how do you feel good as a man asking another grown man for a hookup? Not to invest in my business, not to partner with me, not to hold me down temporarily until I get back on my feet. But hey, man, hook me up, bro. That sound like basehead activity to me. That is basehead activity to me. That's, hey, man, I got these cheeseburgers, man. That's the same thing. You would do anything. I think, listen, here's a wild take. Maybe we could talk about it on After Hours. I think that men that think like that are sassy. I think that they like men. I think a lot of men that think like, because you gotta like men to think like that. To want to subject yourself to another man, I think you would do anything. I think you would do anything. I think that you would get on your knees and do anything for a real one. I think you would do the same thing that women do. 100%. I think you would sell box. I think you would sell your box. You would sell your man box. think you would sell your man box, bro. Honestly. I think you want to go to jail so you can bust it down for a real one. Honest to God, I think men that look to be taken care of by other men would subject himself to them and would give up his man box. I honestly believe that in my heart, in my soul. Ain't no way in the world that another man can take care of me if he wasn't my father and I was growing up. It ain't no way in the world another man that I ain't never met before can take care of me and feed me. At all. At all. You feed me, dog? That mean that I'm submissive to you. I don't even know you. I gotta ask another grown man for money? Whoa. That's a blow. That's a blow to my soul. I would rather starve and figure it out for myself before I come to you and ask you to take care of me. And I got arms and legs. I can go shovel snow. I can go and do rad sharing. I can go and get a second job. I can work under the table. I can do construction. I can do anything, bro. I can clean windows. I can mow lawns. I'm gonna go get this on my own, dog. Ain't nobody about to You know what's really humiliating? Let me tell you what's really humiliating. Because I know this one is gonna really get y'all panties in a bunch. This is gonna get your panties in a bunch, big dog. I know you gotta wear panties. You definitely put your woman's heels on. So you know what really burns you? Is that ain't even the worst part about it. You know what's gonna really humiliate you? I don't even think y'all want me to say this part. Look at the sassiness. Look at the sassiness in the chat. AD, you don't know nothing. I can't believe you. Why would you try to demean me like this? You know what's really humiliating? When your girlfriend or your wife secretly reach out to me because you ain't man enough to be able to pay your own bills. You know how I'm her man. At least she want me to be. When your girl reach out to me and say, hey, can you keep it on the low? Can you keep it a secret? I just need a little bit to get by. And I'd be like, hey, ain't you in a relationship with? I almost told her to come by to the studio. Don't come till about 8:30 though. Don't come till about 8:30, 8:45, preferably 8:50. Yeah. No, just hang out. Hang out over there. It's warm in here. And you know she coming because y'all ain't got no heat at home. She keep driving around in the car all day in order to get some heat. That's our girl. I'ma let you hold on to her for a little bit though. It hurt. It'll hurt you. It'll hurt your heart. You know what I'm saying? And she just trying to do what she got to. She doing whatever she can do. You keep stealing her food stamps, going to the store. You know what I'm saying? Keep hanging out on the corner all day, talking about you want to be a rapper. Yo. Yeah, we in the building. I'm gonna chillin'. I gotta do it because you know I'm gonna kill him. Yeah, dog, you 44. Your career is over. You got to get a career. You got to get a real job, like a real boy in real life. You can't keep, once you pass 44 and you got kids, you can't keep being a rapper, dog. Because I'm going to pull up like Cuddy. Yeah. How's our little girl back there? She sleeping? She's sleeping? You looking at me? That's our daughter. That's both of our daughter. I'm just messing with you, dog. I don't want your girl. You can have her. You can have her. I don't want your girl. Let me turn it to diabolical red. Turn it to diabolical red. That's your girl. I don't want her. You can have her. She yours. She yours. She yours, bro. You good. You ain't got to worry about nothing. We don't want her. Anyways, y'all ready for after hours tonight? Y'all ready for after hours tonight? I promise you we got a great lineup for y'all. We got all of the ladies. They so pretty. Molly, Mika, Carrie. I'm pretty sure Quentin and Slimmy gonna get into a fight as usual. Yeah, we gonna have a great time on after hours tonight. Make sure that y'all tap in. She called me daddy too. Make sure y'all tap in to after hours tonight. Let me read some of these super chats and I'm gonna get we gonna get y'all set up for the show. And make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm on your way out the door and don't be salty about it. Don't be mad and withhold your, I'm taking my like back because he was saying that my girl was his girl. If the shoe don't fit, then you don't even got to wear it. We ain't got to worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my girlfriends. All of my baby mamas in the chat. I got Mika in the chat. I got Molly. All of my baby mamas is in the chat. And you don't have to have a kid to be a baby mama either, just to let y'all know. Well, Anton, you officially fired. Unit, you bring back quick hits. Oh, y'all want me to bring back quick hits? Okay, I got you. Mr. D to the Z says the fraud in welfare is out of control too. It is. It's crazy. Time for these lazy, fat frosters to get a job. Oh, look at my girl. Says you're overweight, you're fine, and you're eating. Go and get a job. Talk to him, Mika. Phoenix Blaze says, I'm disabled because of stage 4. But see, that's different. It don't count for you. So I'm using these programs currently, but it should be primarily for the disabled and seniors. I used to work full-time and pay my own way. Hold on, wait. You don't still have it, right? Bless Phoenix Blaze. Bless her, Lord. Be with her. Give her everything that she need in order to continue to be great and to come through this with flying colors or whatever it is that she dealt with, dealing with, and growing through, because she gonna get to it. We love you, Phoenix. We got your back, girl. That don't apply to you. It's different. You know who we talking about. We talking about Dusties. But a collection plate, appreciate the content. Shout out to you, Mr. Joe. I appreciate you. Sabrina B. And I also, again, want to acknowledge my girl sister. Sabrina B says, when I was a case manager, all of the people had to say was that they purchased and prepared separately. Each adult will be able to get their own card, and it counts as a household of one. Wow, Sabrina, that's crazy. A.R. Smitty says that food stamp situation is wild, but what's really wrecking my brain is who married that? I don't think she married. She can't be married. Good morning, Anton. Well done. Thank you, CC. Country Boy Finesse says, got to get a drug test for work. Same for stamps. I don't think they got to get drug tested. Anton acting like he's that pimp from Dead Presidency. I taught her that. His name is Cuddy. All right. I'm your daddy now. That's right. Black Beauty in the building says, my homegirl said they moved to Miami, but when I arrived, to come to find out, they were in Homestead, Florida, in a cookie-cutter government-subsidized houses, literally a marginalized hood in the making. Gosh, that's crazy. High Tolerance is in the building, says, the razors and shaving cream are in the bottom. George's, make sure you bring the wig and some lip gloss. LL Cool J, you don't know nothing about Cool J. It's LL Cool A. That's what it is. My name is Anton, but you can call me Nate Girl, says Joe Gunn. Jerry says, you're a menace, AD, but they love me for it, right? They love me because they be getting mad, but they still be here typing her in the chat. I hate you, Anton. I used to like you. I came back after 6 months to see if you was on some other type of stuff. You still evil. Your girl still hitting me up in my DMs. Anton, when you talk about sassy dudes, you got to change the color to yellow. Now we're going to go pink. Going pink on these. Pink or purple? Go pink purplish. How about that? Shout out to Rahi Dash in the building. What in the World TV says, all the deportations, why is Biden and Harris quiet? Because they got their blankie. Kamala Harris is shopping. Biden, ain't no telling where he is. He probably taking a nap all day. We gonna get to it. All right, y'all. Listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are the greatest audience on earth. Thank y'all for continuing to rock with me. It has been another great show. Every day we gonna come in and we gonna put in that work for y'all to make sure that y'all level up, are entertained, and that you can get through your work day. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Tap into the Patreon this weekend and send this to your family and friends. If you're not subscribed after this show, I don't know what to tell you. At the end of the day, it's all fun. I don't want your girl. You can have her. Anyways, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Deuces.